crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. That's not true. So get your facts straight.
What else do you want to know?
Playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. We sucked.
We talking about practice.
If you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time,
Chris?
What's my opinion of Kingler's performance? What the you think is my opinion of it?
This is the Dan Dakich Show on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Those of you that listen to our show and have over the course of years know that I'm a guy that likes a dunk. You know, I mean, I couldn't do it, but I'm a guy that I like a dunk. I mean, a dunk's good. Do I think a breakaway dunk by a 7-foot guy or 6'11" guy is a top 10 play? No. But Jimmy, John Morant's dunk last night, down the lane, over Malik Beasley, in traffic-ish, at a big moment. I don't know. I don't know, man. If you don't like a dunk or if you don't like that dunk, I can't help you because, man, Jimmy, that was unbelievable.
We get into the All-Star break every year around February, and critics are always like, in-game dunkers, there's nothing to that. And then you see it in a playoff game like that, like, you know what? Maybe there is something to in-game dunks.
Right. Like, I was trying to explain to Lee, like, because she knows I don't lose my mind over I'm like, we got to find a court right now and start from where he started and walk through and try to put the ball where he put it and then try to, like, and then imagine that a person could do this. Like, oh, man. I don't know. I mean, I just jumped out of my seat and lost my mind on it. I'm not saying that I don't do that ever.
Sometimes when you see a poster for a dunk, it's taken right when they cock it back and they're ready to tomahawk it down. If you did that poster from where he got his gather and got ready to flush it, you couldn't use it because you wouldn't believe he was going to dunk it.
Right.
Like it's the stills of that dunk, just the stills, not the highlight, are mind-boggling.
They are. I put one in our Twitter to kind of introduce the show coming up. I don't know, man. I think this is the first time in, 14 and a half years or whatever I've been doing this show where I opened the show with a dunk. I don't think we have. I don't think I ever will again unless it's, Lorenzo Charles' dunk to win the NCAA tournament. I don't know, but that thing was freaking incredible. And then later on, he gets beat. He gets beat on a play where he just fell asleep. And then he comes back and, it is interesting. It is interesting about players. Like, I'm watching and I thought, you know what, man, he's terrific. And then he falls asleep. And I mean, really, really falls asleep. And next thing you know, Anthony Edwards hits a three in the corner. And then this is where, and I know you're going to think I'm nuts about this, but this is where going to college helps a guy. Anthony Edwards, then the other side, man, you know what he does? He goes ahead and he lunges through a passing lane and gives the guy and it happens to be John Morant, the best angle to go to the basket, and he did. So, it was fascinating. It was a fascinating game last night. It really was. The other two, I didn't really, they're all right. I mean, look, Trae Young, I'm so glad I didn't bet Trae Young. That guy lost his ever-loving mind and, that kind of stuff. But truthfully, I thought that game was incredible. It was incredible. And the end of it was what really, really, really made it incredible. But I don't know, man. I just thought it was It's the only way to open the show today was that dunk, because frankly, it's really the only thing people are talking about was that dunk. That in the draft. I get it. We all want to talk about the draft, and we should. Welcome to the show, by the way. We are high above in a beautiful, beautiful location right here on Monument Circle. As I look out, I see the beautiful circle. I see the sun is shining, a little chilly, but that's all right. We get to sit here. We get to talk sports for the next 3 hours, take you to John at 3 o'clock, and I'm all in on it, baby. I'm all in on it. It's the greatest job in the world. All right, couple of things. Draft coming up. So we're going to talk to Jim Nagy at 2 o'clock. 2:30, we're going to talk to Chappie. If you don't know who Jim Nagy is, 6 times he was in the Super Bowl as a scout, 4-time Super Bowl champ, all with New England. And he is the executive director of the Reese's Super Senior Bowl, and he knows these players better than anyone. Yeah, he really does, and he's been on our show before. We're going to talk to Chappie, get a little feel for what he thinks the Colts are going to do. Teddy Greenstein, our friend, long time with the Chicago Tribune. Now he's with Points Bets, but he wrote a book, and it's an interesting book. It involves Peyton Manning, Archie Manning, Cooper Manning, Arch Manning. It involves quarterback dads, and I just got the copy yesterday, and I can't wait to read it. I skimmed it. I was busy last night doing a bunch of stuff that I can't tell you because it's literally so gross what happened to me. I refuse to tell you. But anyway, so I got it, and I've talked to Teddy a number of times. It's a guide. It's a guide for dads that basically, look, you want your dad to be a quarterback? A lot of ways to go about it. You want your kid to be a quarterback? A lot of ways to go about it. He's got some great stories in it about some folks that are crazy, right? Some folks that aren't crazy. But let's be honest, the grandfather of ridiculous quarterback dads is Marv Marinovich, RoboCop, Todd Marinovich's dad. He didn't let him eat anything. He had to bring his own cake to parties, that kind of thing. But a lot of dads, Warren Moon is involved. No, not involved. He's interviewed in it. Kurt Warner has a really kind of a weird thing going on. A lot of 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 7th grade dads are losing their minds, just that kind of thing. And Teddy G, well, he writes columns and he does stuff for the draft. So we'll talk draft as well with Teddy G. So we got a monster going on. If you'd like to join it, you know the number. It's 317-239-1070. I really haven't heard from you this week in terms of who you want the Colts. I was asked yesterday on a show, and it was, hey, what do Colts fans want? So if you'd like to tell me what you would like, I certainly would like to hear it. Obviously, Dan at 1070thefan.com is the email address. Hope you won money last night. The Suns weren't going to lose that game. They didn't. Bounce back by Chris Paul. I lost 2 of the 3 bets that I made, but I won money because I bet them right, and that's what we got to do. Tonight, the Bulls are taking on Milwaukee. It's the biggest spread that I've seen in the playoffs, 12-point spread. I don't know. Crazy things happen in sports, but the Bulls have ruled out Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso for the game. The Bulls just got whomped at home twice after beating Milwaukee, so what are you going to do, right? I mean, you got to figure, hey, look, the Bulls are going to get beat. The Bulls will not cover the 12, and away we'll go. So we'll see what happened. Veteran free agent Dennis Kelly came in yesterday with the Colts. He is an offensive lineman. He was originally a 5th-round pick of the Eagles. He's a Purdue kid. I like him, man. 6'8", 321 pounds. He's got 32 starts with Tennessee from 2016 to 2020. He's 31 years old, made 4 starts with the Packers at right tackle last year. I don't know. He's allowed in pass protection in 21, just 1 sack, 4 total quarterback pressures, all that kind of thing. Julian Davenport, and I don't think anybody's looking upset about this. He has signed with the Bears. No reported interest of the Colts looking to re-sign Sam Tevy. So you need someone to replace that. That's basically what you need. All right. You're looking for a guy to replace either Davenport or Tevy. And once you can do that, then you're in business. That's it. You know what I mean? So Doyle catching on to what a lot of us, I didn't read it. I saw the headline. I will not subscribe to that absolute rag. Colts have treated quarterback position with neglect, blah, 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 blah. Really? I mean, I thought everything was great, and I thought we had the road to the Super Bowl. Wow, okay. Guess not. I mean, I never know, Usually, guys like Doyle and all the rest, they they catch up to us. Let's go with that. Also, Mark Emmert has resigned. Now, look, you got to understand guys like Doyle. Hey, don't let the Dob hit you in the rear end. Well, they don't really know anything that's actually going on. They really don't. What they know is they have a narrative. And that narrative, which is not just Doyle, it's everybody across, Billis, everybody, they're never in rooms. They don't know the backstory. They just know that they want players to be paid. They want things to go a certain way. And anybody in power that doesn't go their certain way is a bad guy. And then, of course, when he is able to be bullied, like we saw with Carson Wentz and like we see with Mark Emmert, then guess what? Then he gets bullied. I mean, a 70-year-old white guy, Doyle and the rest are going to bully him. That's what they do. They're not going to say anything, of course, about Darius Leonard, but they're going to bully. So that's what they're doing to Mark Emmert. These guys have never been in the back room. They never, ever, ever understand anything about how the whole thing works. They just know that they want players to be paid. They want 18 to 23-year-olds to be acquiesced to. And frankly, I don't know. When the guy in charge doesn't acquiesce to that, he's a bad guy. Yes, I know he called the Kansas Jayhawks the Kansas City Jayhawks. Yes, I know. Who cares? I mean, seriously. I mean, I remember looking out when I was a head coach at Indiana at all these slobs going, okay, these guys, I'm going to try to explain basketball to them. I'm going to try to explain what's actually going on. All right, that's great, man. Yeah, okay. So, look, Mark Emmert, bad guy. Don't let the door hit you. Where the good Lord do, all that kind of stuff. Again, just another easy white guy for people to jump all over. He's the easiest target out there. You don't see anybody jumping on Adam Silver, right? Even though he has done the worst job by far of anyone, and I mean anyone, that is a commissioner of a league. He's done a horrible job. He's been ridiculous. He's been so bad. It doesn't even make sense, but you're not. Why? Because he fits the narrative that these guys fits. Look, Mark Emmert has grown the sport. Mark Emmert's time certainly has passed. You need somebody in there that wants to acquiesce to 18 to 23-year-olds. You want somebody in there that all the little fellas that are jealous, like Doyle and like Wetzel and like all these guys jealous of a salary. You want all those guys. You want all them involved. So that's what the NCAA has to figure out. How important is being on the right side of the media? If it's important, then you got to do what you got to do. Then you got to go get a guy that will sit up there and tell you everything that our very, very left media wants to tell you, which is simply, hey, look, players should get all the money, coaches are evil, and there we go. There you go. I mean, and they'll figure it out. Look, they always do. Now, all of a sudden, here's the headline. The Colts have met with Malik Harris or Willis. See, I misspoke. Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder. Imagine this franchise finally getting serious about the quarterback room. Well, we've been saying this forever. While Doyle and the rest, the star, has been saying this is the greatest roster. For years, the Colts have treated the quarterback position with wishful thinking, borderline on neglect. But something seems up with as the NFL drafts approach. Yeah, maybe. But the truth of the matter is, let's be honest, they're always a little late because they're always so in pocket. And they catch up to us, and they'll catch up at some point. Whoever the new guy is that comes into the NCAA will blank them off at some point, and then they'll have to, come back to what I'm telling you. It's the easiest guy in sports, right? The easiest. Ballard kisses enough, that, being a middle-aged white guy, he can overcome. But let's be honest. I mean, I understand we can say whatever, but Mark Emmert's the easiest target ever because one of the things that the cool kids do in media is agree with Billis. And that's fine. Everybody should. Well, not everybody should, but that's all right. Billis says they're bad. Everybody in the media says they're bad. Makes them feel smart. It's like most guys in the media love Springsteen. Why? It makes them feel cool. If you ever listen to any media guy, oh, man, I love Springsteen. Makes them feel cool. They're always dorky, but you know. So we get it. We understand it, and we rock and roll with it. But I don't think Mark Emmert leaving is going to change a whole lot. The only thing that's going to change a whole lot is when the NCAA pretty much goes away. I mean, seriously, pretty much it'll go away. So we'll see what's happening. Should I be the president? No. I mean, here's what I would be if I were the president. What I would do as the president of the NCAA was take the salary and not work. That's what I would do. $2.9 million. And all you got to do is read these guys' articles. Again, I don't read the Star. They could write whatever they want, but I ain't reading none of it. I'll read you a headline once in a while. But you could read Dan Wetzel's column, who I really like. But Dan Wetzel's column in Yahoo starts off and has his salary in it. These guys are so jealous of a salary that $2.9 million. I mean, it drives them nuts. That's one of the things they have a problem with me. It just drives them nuts that I triple whatever these clowns around here make. It makes them insane around here. And that's exactly the first 4 articles that I saw were about his salary. Or they weren't about it. They were, I don't know. They were, what's the right word? They were influenced by the salary that what's his face made. Dan Wetzel's, I think it's in the headlines. Everybody whines about $2.9 million. Okay, fine. Don't think for a second that isn't a crux with them. That's one of the reasons the Star comes at me. All those guys are so mad. They found out what I made from ESPN and now Outkick, and they're mad about it. That's just the way the world works. We understand that. 317-239-1070, that's the number. So Mark Emmert is out when, I don't know. Either when they hire a successor or June of 2023. So Emmert will be around. Now, the one thing I will say about Emmert is I don't like him, but I've never met the man. Reason I don't like him is he really, really screwed over a very good friend of mine, a guy that I trust, a guy that I like, a guy that I know is one of the most honest guys out there. And he always whined, and he did it a lot about having the biggest room. I got to have this. I got to have that. It was kind of against the amateur model. But that's just the way that's just the way it works. So, but you know what? Good for the world. We will continue to acquiesce to 18 to 23-year-olds. We will do whatever it is that you all want, and the world is good. Because, look, normal people, real people, we got Twitter now. So that's a good thing for us. And one of the things about Twitter, hey, by the way, I don't know how this happened, but all of a sudden I jumped up 400. Man, if nothing was happening with these algorithms, I don't understand. For years, I stayed at the same number. All of a sudden, I went up 400 followers. My God, how'd that happen? But there was no influence. There was no algorithms. You guys are funny, and it's cute. 317-239-1070. That's the number. Dan at 1070thefan.com is the email address. And as you know, we are on Twitter at Dan Dakich, at the J Cook. I will stand by what I said. I want a playmaker. I want a playmaker. I'm just telling you, I want a playmaker. And I don't care if that playmaker is a tight end. I don't care. Dan, did you know this is the worst start of the year market since 1942? It's like the Pacers of stock markets, finally deciding to fail miserably. Yeah, believe me, I know, bro. I mean, I'm at that age where I'm looking every day to see when I can retire. Ah, man. I'm just saying. Nah. I am, and now the market's gone crap, and hey, Joe's doing fine. I'm not even getting into it because I'm not getting political anymore. 317-239-1070 if you want to talk. I like Dulcich. I like Ruckert. I like any big fat lineman that can play left tackle in the second round with a 42nd pick. I do. I like it. I ain't mad about it. If you're the Colts, look, I hate to say it this way because, I don't know, wide receivers can come from anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, wide receivers and players can come from anywhere. Hell, you guys, the Maniac's greatest player in the history of football, right? And he came from South Carolina State. Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver in football. And he came from Eastern Washington. So people can come from wherever, all right? They can. But I wouldn't mind seeing the Colts get a guy in here that can simply step in and play. Now, a cornerback is tough. Rock Ya-Sin, he struggled. He struggled in his first year. That's tough. But instead of a Michael Strawn or whatever the hell his name is, that, hey, look, I hope he's great. I hope he's great. Hope he's great. But instead of that, how about we get in here that, man, we watch day one and we go, wow. I used to have, when Bill Polian was here, he used to come on the show quite a lot. Or he would call in. You know what I mean? I mean, he would call in and say, Dan, I was listening, and here it is. And one of the things that he told me about Gerard Powers when he came here as a rookie, he goes, look, within 3 plays, I could tell this guy could be on the field right now and be productive, and he was. I mean, when's the last time the Colts had a guy like that in the back, in a position of playmaker, defensive backfield, not offensive line, not a big fat guy playing guard, wide receiver? I think Jonathan Taylor would be the last guy. I think Jonathan Taylor was probably that guy. That's what I want here. You know what I mean? That's what I want. Kevin, what do you got?
First of all, I just want to comment what a great show you have. All these numb NUTS guys, that young guys, like you said, they don't have a clue.
None.
I used to drive your bosses from ESPN around, and they all loved you. They couldn't believe how great you were, how much money you made them. But some of the ESPN announcers, other than John Saunders loved you. But all these other guys, they hated you because you were just too good.
What can I tell you?
I love your take on the Colts especially. I want to see him take Bo Melton out of Rutgers. I think he's a guy that can come in. He can return kickoffs. He can do punt returns. He's an unbelievable breakaway guy. He's not the fastest guy on the field, but he's got great hands. Somebody like that.
Hold on a second. Bo Melton went in a 4.34.
Well,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, but there's guys out there running 4.1s, you know what I mean?
No, not quite, but 4.2 certainly. Bo Melton's one of the fastest guys. I'm all in on Bo Melton. I got no problem with Bo Melton.
Well, I called about a couple of months ago, and you looked him up, and he missed 3 games for injuries, and he played about 85%. He went to a great college in Rutgers, high quality education, incredible coach with Greg Schiano. So he's a great citizen. That's what we need.
I'd go less citizen and more athlete, just me personally. And if you can get them both, that'd be the best. But I've had enough of Jimmy Irsay and Ballard telling me about Colts guys, man. Appreciate you, Kevin. Really appreciate the kind words. Got to take a break. Coming right back. Teddy Greenstein. I love it. Here's why I like talking to Teddy Greenstein. I love talking to Teddy Greenstein, and you will find this out. There is a smile in his voice, if you understand what I'm saying. There's a smile in his voice when Teddy Greenstein talks, and he's got a book you're going to love. If you are a sports parent, hey, you women out in Fishers, voted the worst sports moms, dads, whatever, keep it right here. Call your Fishers mom friend and tell her she needs to listen to this. We'll be right back.
Make the short trip to experience Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville, less than an hour from Indy. Give Antler Point in Rushville a swing. AntlerPointGolf.com. That's point with an E.
Business catering doesn't have to be boring. In fact, it shouldn't be. Whether you're looking for box lunches with fresh wraps, taco bars with all the fixings, or our signature smoky barbecue, Nameless Catering is ready to take your team lunch to the next level. Nameless Catering prides itself on being flexible and affordable for corporate catering options. Small to large, we do it all. Visit namelesscatering.com for more information
and to request a same-day response.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
This is a call to the self-starters, to the self-made, and the self-sufficient. It's time to declare a new kind of independence. Because Edelman Financial Engines is here to provide tailored investment solutions for your kind of wealthy. You should expect more from your wealth advisors. Our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research, and our planners don't sell products to earn commissions. And because we're here for those who question the answers, we model more than 38,000 securities, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. So no matter where you're going next, see what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines. Built for those who built themselves.
Hi, honey. Just checking in for my trip. How's everything on the home front?
John, a big storm just hit us and the power is out. The temperature in the house is already getting really uncomfortable. I can't make the kids dinner without power, and they aren't able to get their homework done with no internet.
Don't get into a situation like this. Extreme weather and grid outages are becoming more and more common. You need to protect your family and your home from power outages. You need a Kohler backup generator that automatically kicks on when the power goes out. Just call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. Unlike portable models, Kohler backup generators offer hands-off operation without the need to refuel. They automatically power your entire home, hassle-free. And with Kohler, you know you can trust this generator when you need it. Don't wait until it's too late and severe weather hits. Call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. You can't afford not to call. Call 800-219-4389. That's 800-219-4389. 800-219-4389.
Hey, it's Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's April, so that means it's our biggest sale of the year. Only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress. Get the lowest prices of the year on every sofa, recliner, mattress, sectional, outdoor furniture, bedroom and dining furniture, and more. Save up to 50% and beat the price increases that are coming during the biggest sale of the year only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery and free setup.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whoa, Greg's up.
He's never up this early.
Hey, guys. Okay, so this is called the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell. Oh, thanks. I can read.
And that's a coffee. Helps you open your eyes.
And that's a breakfast burrito. You can start from either end.
You guys always this condescending in the morning?
Pretty much.
Wake up with the new $5 Bell Breakfast Box, filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. At limited participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation, which vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes.
Mother's Day is next weekend. Sundown Gardens has everything you need for mom, gift certificates, and great items in Miss Mary's Gift Shop, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, or sundowngardens.com.
Follow The Fan on social media. The Fan is on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Like and follow The Fan to stay up to date on all of our giveaways and all things sports.
Matthew Ryan. The Colts already have a new look.
Done deal. So excited to be here in Indianapolis.
But the work is far from over.
Yeah, there's a couple players right at the top that you obviously would love to have.
This is the most important draft in years.
With the first pick,
Kevin Bowen, Rick Venturi, and the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, take you inside the Colts draft.
It's an exciting time.
The NFL Draft. Starting Thursday night on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. 95 and 107.5. The Fan.
Interesting. A lot of people talking like Calvin Fitch and Kevin Bowen. Move up and go get yourself Jamison Williams, who by all accounts, a kid from Alabama, he's back running, man. 4.5 months after having an ACL. We're going to talk about that. Quarterback Dads by Teddy Greenstein. We got Archie Manning. We got Arch Manning. We got all kind. Warren Moon. The Godfather is, of course, Todd Marinovich. Look, I've told you this. We took a poll. You mothers in Fishers were voted the worst sports parents in the greater Indianapolis area. You bring cowbells to games. Every kid is not buddy or pal. So listen up here. As the great Teddy Greenstein goes through quarterback dads and what Archie and Kurt Warner and Todd Marinovich, Warren Moon, my man Teddy G, how is you?
Double D, I'm fantastic, man. How are you?
I know you are. All right. We're in Indianapolis. Manning's draw ears and eyes. Archie Manning talking about the 3 different Manning boys. How cool was that?
Yeah, that's right, man. When I set out to do this book, Quarterback Dads, I had 2 targets. One was Todd Marinovich, because those of us who are old enough remember that Sports Illustrated story where his dad, Marv, basically turned the poor kid into a science project. And the other was Archie Manning, because I see him as the ultimate quarterback dad. And part of it is not just because, his sons have so many rings that, they could weigh us down with their Super Bowl rings, but because of the variety of personalities. So Archie was great talking about this. So Cooper was just the cut-up. He was the hilarious one. And I love the story where, Cooper resembles Peyton so much that the night before Tennessee games, Cooper would be out at a bar, and people would be like, hey, Peyton, don't you have a game tomorrow? When are you going to bed? And Cooper would say, it's just Kentucky, no big deal. So that's where he was. Then Peyton was just so intense that Archie tried to dial him back. Like, Peyton was the kid who was showing up for the Little League games and ordering Boston kids around and saying, you got to take more batting practice. You got to take more fielding practice. And Archie would say, would you just shut up? Some kids just want to show up and have fun, and you need to relax. And as Peyton grew even more intense over the years, Archie would say, man, go to a movie. Get a girlfriend. Like, Peyton's school was supposed to have tackle football starting in the 6th grade. And then a year before that, they changed it to the 7th grade. And Archie turns to Olivia and says, you don't think Peyton's going to burn down the school, do you? So with him, it was the opposite of what a lot of parents do. Like, a lot of us are motivating our kids. Hey, you got to go outside. You got to work on your skills. I'm a soccer dad. And with Archie and Peyton, it was holding him back. And then with Eli, it was just trying to get him to say a word, because Eli was basically non-communicative for his first several years. And even, when he gets up to college recruiting, he barely wants to take part. So the lesson, Dan, I think, is it's not one size fits all. You don't have one philosophy your kids. You got to tailor it to your kid's personality.
How are they, and I don't know if they got into this, or I don't know if Archie Manning got into this, but how are they going about the business? Because it is a business of Arch Manning.
Yes. So this was interesting, man. When I talked to Archie, he was telling me that he saw a list of the top quarterbacks in Arch's class, and they all had their Twitter handles listed, and Arch had no Twitter. And Archie thought that was awesome. He's like, my kid's a throwback. My grandkid's a throwback. He doesn't need Twitter. Now, a couple of things. Since that interview, Arch has joined Twitter.
Oh.
And look, yeah. But the point, is that, look, worry about what's more important, man. Listen to your coaches, okay? Worry more about how you play and less about social media. Now, look, if you have the last name of Manning, you don't have to put yourself out there, man. You don't have to, have an Instagram highlights package. You don't have to put stuff out on Facebook. A lot of these kids and dads do. Like, there's Kane and Adam Archer, and they're in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and they're very successful with social media. And guess what? the kid already in the 9th grade got an offer from Arkansas, and Jim Harbaugh called the family and made an offer too. And part of it is because they're great marketers. It gets you invited to camps all around the country. So for some kids, you do want to have a strong social media presence. But if you're Arch Manning, you can just sit back and let them come to you.
I want to go into this because you just mentioned, Kane Archer and his dad, Adam. The chapter is entitled "The Quarterback Dad Willing to Go Broke."
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I mean, he's crazy. And I was just interacting with him on social media on Adam. And, he has a quote in here. I mean, I think it might be worth reading. I'll find it in a second. He says, all right, you know what it's like being that guy? I can understand that their child is a great human being. He'll be a terrific husband one day, maybe a CEO. Well, my son is going to play in the NFL. That is the card I drew. If they don't understand, that's okay. I'm trailblazing a path, and I really don't care what anyone else thinks.
Nice, see?
Because of his kid, he is shredded from head to toe. He has an 8-pack. If he had a Madden awareness rating, it would be very high. I've only seen him take one blindside hit in his entire life. So on the one hand, you say, Adam, tone it down. You're crazy. Your kid is still 14. On the other hand, it's working so far. His kid, I also talked to him, delightful to talk to. Again, been offered not only by this home state school of Arkansas, been offered personally by Jim Harbaugh. So it's working. But sometimes you hear these dads and they say they're going to take out a second mortgage. And this kid's quarterback trainer is in California. So when they want to see him, they got to fly to the West Coast, man. That's a lot of money. But they feel like the investment is worthwhile.
Hey, let me go through this now. Let me start with Marv Marinovich. You mentioned Marinovich. I mentioned him earlier before when I said I was having you on. He's the godfather, kind of, Todd Marinovich's dad. Explain to the folks what that was about and how Todd Marinovich was when you interviewed him.
Oh, so true. So Marv, played a bit in his day, was a gym guy, was a trainer. And basically from the moment that Todd came out of the womb, Marv was doing crazy stuff like having him eat liver and stretching out his groins when he was in the crib. So Todd didn't have a childhood. Marv made it incumbent on Todd to constantly work out, and he had a team of scientists around him analyzing what Todd was eating. Todd was the kid who would go to a birthday party and have to bring his own cake because it was healthy and wasn't allowed to, have a ding-dong or a Twinkie or anything. So he really screwed up Todd, let's be honest. Now, look, Todd ended up being a great player at USC, a high pick in the draft, but has really struggled with addiction and just, being a complete human being. So I asked for help. I asked Mike Rosenberg of Sports Illustrated, because Mike has written a bunch about Todd for SI. And, tracking down Todd wasn't easy. As you might expect, it was text message, missed phone call, text message, missed phone call. By about the 8th or 9th, he finally replies to me. I get him on the phone. He's a sweet guy. He's well-meaning. He's got a son named Barron. He wants Barron to be a golfer or a tennis player. Barron, of course, wants to be a quarterback. So Todd is like, what do I do? Do I let him play tackle? Do I ask him to just play flag football? He's totally conflicted. And then we're about an hour into the interview, and Todd says, hey, man, my phone's at 1%. Let me charge it up, and I'll call you back. I said, great. And then, of course, I never heard from him again. But I got the interview, and he's a sweet guy, and I'm rooting for Todd Marinovich big time.
Because when you do a book like this, Teddy Greenstein on the hotline, brought to you by the Mower Shop, go see my guy, Paulie at the Mower Shop. Look, when you mowershop.com, when you go to do a book like this, immediately it's, oh man, hey, what are you going to do? Are we going to be another Todd Marinovich? Do these current quarterback dads, do they know the story? Do they know what Marinovich's name means in this venture?
I'd say they basically all do, because there have been moments where people have said to him, hey, don't be Marv Marinovich. He's from our generation. I read that story when I was in high school, and I remember it to this day. I talked to Pat Fitzgerald about it and a lot of guys in the book. Another one that they talk about is LeVar Ball. So, DJ Uiagalelei at Clemson has a father, Big Dave, and Dave was a bodyguard. He's a 340-pound dude, and he does something called Big Dave's Blueprint. Well, Big Dave's blueprint involves so much social media that the son DJ actually blocks him on Twitter because he just can't handle it. So on the one hand, again, he's successful because he's got a great kid in DJ who's the starter at Clemson, at least for now, and he's got another kid named Mateo who's a 5-star recruit. But, like, as a dad, you just want to, like, grab these guys and say, come on, man, tone it back, because Big Dave has a rep for going on message boards anonymously, and, you know, some people think he's crushing other kids or other dads, and, like, that's not productive. So people have warned him, hey, don't be LeVar Ball to the point where people are rooting against your kid because of you.
There are kids as young as how old that are already being groomed?
Man, so there's a dad in Detroit, awesome guy, Jamal Doggett. He put together a 3-minute highlights package of his kid for Facebook when the kid was 6. I mean, he's running around and doing drills. So the kid, when he goes to games, Josiah, he shows up in a fake arm tattoo sleeve. He's got customized cleats because he wears number 2. He wears a ring from a state championship he won. And the dad tells me that one of the rival coaches offered $1,000 for his kid to switch over. The kid is now 7 years old.
Oh, my God.
The dad says he's going to play in the NFL. I mean, maybe he will. But guess what? The kid's like 4 feet tall. I mean, I don't know, you know. It's a little hard to project. I mean, it's hard enough to project Malik Willis, whether he's going to be a good NFL player.
Right.
Let alone a 7-year-old. So, you know, again, you want to sometimes tell these dads, like, tone it back, you know, just relax. But you also look at a dad like that. This guy works the overnight shift at the Ford plant so he can wake up with his kid and take him to quarterback training and speed training, and you got to salute dads like that.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. What's the difference between talking to these dads? You mentioned talking to Pat Fitzgerald, the head coach at Northwestern. What's the difference between talking to a dad and talking to a college coach?
Well, Fitz as a college coach, you know, he gives the advice that you'd expect from 1960s dad, which is try your hardest, listen to your high school coach. If you don't win the job, be the holder on extra points or be a great number 2. Like, that's his attitude. All the other dads are harassing these recruiting analysts, and they're saying, hey, my kid's not going to start as a freshman, man. Where do you think he should transfer to? Man. And it's like, dude, he's a freshman. He's like not an adult. Just relax. Let him develop a little bit. But there's no patience. Like the same thing, Dan, that we see in colleges where, you know, if a kid is not a starter, he goes into the portal. That's come down to the high school level. So if a kid is not starting by his sophomore year, he feels like, oh, I got to change high school. I got to go somewhere where, you know, where I can get a look. So, you know, I talked to Brett Bielema of Illinois and a lot of Pat Fitzgerald and other college coaches, and they're rational about it. They say the most important thing is your high school film. Don't worry about social media. But that's easy for them to say.
Right.
Because they're not in the position, you know, in Fort Smith, Arkansas, of trying to get their kid recognized and trying to get him invited to camps in the summer.
That's exactly right. I mean, and that's the business that these guys are in. Last thing, but before I let you go, Teddy Greenstein, nice enough to join us. We're talking about quarterback dads. Get it online, man. Go get some merch. Give it a read. I started reading it yesterday. I got it yesterday, and I was reading some of it, and then I had to go, and I did a 36-hour fast, and I had little problems internally for the rest of the day, but I'll get into that later.
Please cut me off before you do.
Yes, I will. Hey, you mentioned quarterback coach, and this is kind of how the book was set up. Coach Dooley in Detroit is kind of a guru. This is a cottage industry, right? The quarterback whisperer coach?
Oh, my God, Dan. It didn't even exist until like 20 years ago, and now there's tons of these guys. So, indeed, I worked with Donovan Dooley, and he's a quarterback trainer out of Detroit, and he's worked with Joe Milton and DeJuan Mathis, and now he's got a kid named Bryce Underwood. Remember the name. He's finishing up his freshman year at Belleville in Michigan, has already led his team to a state title at Ford Field. He will be probably offered soon by Alabama and Ohio State and, of course, Michigan, and everybody wants Bryce Underwood. He is an impressive-looking freshman. So what inspired Donovan is he sees these dads are nuts. You know, he named 12 types of quarterback dads. You've got the wee dad. The we dad is the dad who's saying, hey, man, we're looking at the SEC and, we need to pump up our stats. And, we're also considering schools in the Midwest. Or like the bragger dad, or the reminiscer dad who thinks he would have been a high school All-American if not for a knee injury. So he sees it all. He sees these kids that are sometimes struggling. He's been there when a dad has shouted to his kid during a practice, hey, if you don't complete this next pass, you're not having dinner. So Donnie was inspired to find a ghostwriter and ended up being an author in me to write all about quarterback dads, to rein in the one, to suggest that the crazy ones really watch themselves and rein it in, and to promote the good ones, and to talk to college coaches and to get advice. Because it's not only for football players, man. My kids play soccer. If your kid plays lacrosse or basketball or baseball or whatever, there are lessons in here related to should you coach your kid, should you be the one setting the alarm clock, all these kind of issues that have come up.
What's your consensus? What did you decide as a soccer dad?
As a soccer dad, I try to shut the hell up during games, but sometimes I'm not successful, man. My kid, Elle, plays defense. She plays travel soccer, and she's good, but, she was responsible for giving up a goal. We were at the Wisconsin Dells for a tournament, and, the goalie's dad is right behind me, and I feel bad for him, so I think I shouted out, do better, Elle, and I'm sure she didn't appreciate that, So I try to be supportive. I'm never rag on any other kids. I try not to hit on the refs. When you're watching soccer, it's hard not to sometimes shout offsides or handball. So I slip out of it sometimes. But, man, on the car ride home, I try not to pepper her with questions. We'll talk about going to Dairy Queen, and if she wants to talk about the game, it's up to her.
Last thing. I'm watching Bryce Underwood. He's pretty good. I just Googled him and I watched him. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. You said that kid's a freshman? How old's a freshman? 14.
He's a young freshman.
He's pretty good.
Crazy, man.
He's pretty good. Damn. Hey, somebody get Tom Allen on the horn here. Jeff Brom's on tomorrow. I'm sure he knows about it. Thanks, my friend. You're the best.
QBdads.com, guys, check it out. If you want a signed copy, DM me at Teddy Greenstein on Twitter. Dan, love you, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
He's the best. Thank you, Teddy. It's my pleasure. I'm telling you, it's a hell of a book, man. It's a great read. I could not put it down. I couldn't. It was terrific. And it's a great lesson for a lot of people. You can decide whether everybody's crazy or everybody's doing the right thing. I don't know. I'm a big fan of dads being dads. So I'm a little bit conflicted. We'll be back. We can continue this conversation for a few minutes. And then at 1 o'clock, I'd like to hear who you think the Colts should take in the draft.
My mom's the bomb. Her hugs are so good, there's a wait list. Her laughter is the life of the party. Her smile makes everyone smile. Everything worth knowing, I learned from her. That's why this Mother's Day, I'm heading to Hellsberg Diamonds. They have beautiful diamond pendants, gemstone rings, and more. Hellsberg makes it easy to find a gift she'll love. One that hopefully she'll pass down to me one day, along with her secret to perfect hugs. Save big on mom-worthy gifts at a Hellsberg store near you or at hellsberg.com. Hurry, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th.
Hey, by now, you know that BetRivers is the place to go for betting on sports. But did you know that BetRivers is also the place to watch live sports, including tennis, soccer, hockey, and so much more? BetRivers also streams NHL games and ATP matches. Bet live, watch live, all in one place. Watch today on the BetRivers app or go to BetRivers.com. You got to be 21 or older. Must be located in the great state of Indiana. Gambling problem, 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The Fed has raised rates, but it's not too late for you.
There's still time to lock in Golden Oak Lending's low 3.75% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak, and I urge you to call now. With home values at all-time highs and Golden Oak Lending's low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 317-706-GOLD today to get a free mortgage checkup and find out how much cash you can get. It's more than you think.
That's right. Plus, Golden Oak still has millions of dollars available at near record low rates, and you can skip 2 mortgage payments.
Lock in this low 3.75% rate. And if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge. Call 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 3.75% fixed, 4.88% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Life's full of unexpected joys, like problems with water. That's why there's Michaelis, a crew of 24/7 experts who are rescue ready, day or night, one phone call, for a gazillion disasters, from frozen pipes and sewer backups to your teenager pleading ignorance on the proper use of a plunger. At Michaelis, they know that water damage waits for no one. Their fleet of trucks is, well, fleet. Over 3 decades of finding the source of the problem, then cleaning up, drying out, and restoring your home or business to better the new condition. That's Michaelis, fully licensed and insured, and fully empathetic to your anxiety, including dealing with insurance claims. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Thursday on Kevin and Query, NFL Draft is here. Zach Keeper of The Athletic, and we'll break down commentary from around the country. Fun begins at 7, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
It's the Dan Dakich Show, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Beautiful day here in Indianapolis. Beautiful day here in the DriveHubler.com studios. Teddy Greenstein's book, Quarterback Dads, is available anywhere you get your books. Amazon. Go to QBDads.com. You can get it. Jim Nagy coming up here at 2 o'clock. He is the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. 18-year scout. 6 Super Bowls during that time, 4 Super Bowl rings. I mean, damn, the dude knows his way around it, and he talks to more people than anybody. Looking forward to talking to Jim. Mike Chappell's going to join us coming up at 2:30. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting for it, and we're going to deliver it tomorrow. Yes, we are. Here's what we are going to deliver. We are going to deliver to you the official hard open of the Aidan O'Connell for Heisman Trophy campaign that is originating right here on the wonderful 6th floor of Emmis Worldwide. That's right. That's right. We're going to have Jeff Brom on. We will let him talk like coaches talk. Yes, he's a terrific player. Yes, he's a great kid, but we got a really good team around him and blah, 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 blah. It's fine. We don't care. Our focus, ladies and gentlemen, is on the greatness that is one young man. And his name, the lucky man, is Aidan O'Connell. Now, some of you Indiana fans seem to be upset with me, but you have lost the right because you all get upset with me when I say Indiana's going to be good in basketball. You guys get upset with me. You guys get upset with me. It doesn't really matter what I say. So you've lost the right. So be upset. If Indiana had a player running for that was going to be good enough, at least, and it made sense, like Purdue's schedule makes sense to me. The whole thing makes sense. And I always get poo-pooed. And then the dummies around here go, oh, well, really? Oh, God. I mean, how many years have we been saying the Colts have treated this quarterback like a revolving door? At some point, the local yokels will say, well, you know, maybe Frank Reich isn't the quarterback whisperer. You think? Anyhow, that's the way the world is working right now. And I hope you stay with us because, frankly, we got a monster show. I got to get in the draft with Jim Nagy. I got to get what you think. Who do you think the Colts should draft? Who do you think? I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, Dan, I was watching a special on Family Feud. That Richard Dawson guy kissed every contestant on the lips. Yeah, I know. It's really weird. It is. We'll be back. We'll be right back.
The Ride with JMV.
Bobby Marks of ESPN. How do you think they're going to end up, Kevin Pritchard and company, handling this offseason?
There's a foundation there. I think they're in better shape than some other teams that have been going through this, but it's just a matter of how they prioritize Brogdon. What do you do at cap space? Certainly Miles going into last year of his contract, and then, of course, it starts with the draft in June.
The Ride with JMV.
Weekdays 3 to 6.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, April 27th, we're doing something unprecedented. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge, to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. Guys, you will love it. And today only, we're offering 3 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is worth $1,000. Call today, Wednesday, April 27th, and qualify free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Spring in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Hey, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens. Next weekend is Mother's Day weekend. When shopping for Mom, don't forget all that Sundown Gardens has to offer. Great items in Miss Mary's gift shop, gift certificates, and next weekend is the famous Sundown Gardens Mother's Day hanging basket sale. If you're working in the yard this week, check out the greenhouses and all the trees. New shipments are coming in daily at Sundown Gardens. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road. Find them on Facebook and Instagram or sundown.gardens.com.
Hi, honey. Just checking in for my trip. How's everything on the home front?
John, a big storm just hit us and the power is out. The temperature in the house is already getting really uncomfortable. I can't make the kids dinner without power, and they aren't able to get their homework done with no internet.
Don't get into a situation like this. Extreme weather and grid outages are becoming more and more common. You need to protect your family and your home from power outages. You need a Kohler backup generator that automatically kicks on when the power goes out. Just call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. Unlike portable models, Kohler backup generators offer hands-off operation without the need to refuel. They automatically power your entire home, hassle-free. And with Kohler, you know you can trust this generator when you need it. Don't wait until it's too late and severe weather hits. Call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. You can't afford not to call. Call 800-219-4389. That's 800-219-4389. 800-219-4389.
Spring is here, which means it's time to take advantage of the Home Depot low price guarantee. We're offering the best brands at the best prices so you can take on as much as you want. Add the thrill of a great deal to the satisfaction of getting your projects done. And if you find a lower price from one of our competitors, we'll match it. Because when we say nobody beats our prices, we mean it. It feels like spring savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's. Today's topic, friends and family savings. Just in time for Mother's Day. Speaking of, I got my mom the cutest pajamas for just $27.99. A trendy spring dress for under $25 and 65% off fine jewelry. Ooh, she's one lucky lady. So am I. Did I mention I got an extra 25% off? And because I'm a Kohl's Rewards member, an extra $20 off? Count on Kohl's for more style and more savings. Select styles, 20 off 100 valid in-store only. 25% off ends May 1st. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Live from Las Vegas, it's the NFL Draft. Coverage begins tomorrow night at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Let me know everything's alright. Hooked on a feeling.
It's the Dan Dakich Show. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
That's exactly. Gregory Mertz says what I'm saying. And that's, hey, coach, I want the Colts to draft a grown-ass man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Look, I don't care. Well, I do. You got to be really good. Like, let's, the 42nd player in the country, you ought to be pretty good. I mean, we act like once you get out of the first 5, you're not any good. I mean, come on, peeps. I mean, you got to be pretty good if you're in the top 45 players in the country, for crying out loud. Colts draft 42nd, but all right. Here's the deal. Like, get a grown dude that can go make plays. Like John Mechie. If they went and got John Mechie on the Colts, now I know John Mechie is coming off of an injury. He is only, 5'11", 185 or whatever it was. There's some issues there. I get it. But the dude is a frickin' stud. They're projecting him in the 3rd round. Mechie is a stud. He suffered a torn ACL in the conference championship game. All right. I sat whatever row I sat in. This dude is fast. This dude caught 96 balls, 8 touchdowns, 12 yards a catch, and I think he's just absolutely terrific. I do. I think he's terrific. I think that this dude, he knows how to run routes. He doesn't have great size, but he doesn't have, not little. They tell me he has average play speed. All right. I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly where his rehab is. Hell, I'm not there. And if you're gonna listen to people, then all right, that's fine. You listen to people, and some people are gonna tell you good, some people are gonna tell you bad, that kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. They say he lacks explosiveness to separate out of turns and stems. That's some freaking draft analyst. Yeah, all right. If you guys tell me that, that's fine, but I'll bet you in a year from now, if he's healthy, if he's not healthy, all bets are off. But I'll bet you in a year from now, John Mechie is a kid that you go, oh, man, why'd everybody pass on him? I'll give you another kid, and I agree with Kevin Bowen. Jamison Williams, to me, look, I know he's hurt, but I just heard today from Trey Wallace, who is on Outkick, and he covers the SEC every day. He's like, yeah, I know this for a fact. 4.5 months after being injured, this dude went out and he's running, he's sprinting. And again, that's not totally unusual. Everybody comes back at their own pace, but if you want to move up and go get Jamison Williams, I'll take that cat too. That cat can go, man. Whoo, can that cat go? Man, oh, man. The draft is interesting. So, all right, Jimmy, right now, can you name the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons?
No.
It's Marcus Mariota. I did not know that. I had no idea. Last night, as I was getting ready for the morning show, I'm going through headlines just to look, right? And I see a headline in the pro football part of ESPN.com. and it says Falcons hope to get a quarterback in the draft. And I thought to myself, wow, all right. Hey, by the way, who the hell's the Falcons quarterback? I had no idea. I would argue, Jimmy, correct me, would you agree with this? Of all the NFL teams over the last, I don't know, the Falcons are the least interesting team in that time frame, other than the Super Bowl year. They went after the Super Bowl year. Is there anything that was interesting about the Atlanta Falcons
in Matt Ryan's tenure?
After the Super Bowl, from the Super Bowl till now, I'll even go before. I know he and Julio Jones people, but is there anything that you go, man? Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons, they were. Oh,
not mind-boggling. I mean,
is there anything?
Calvin Ridley was fun.
Okay,
I guess.
I'll give you that.
I play a lot of fantasy football though, so I mean, I don't know broad scale if that's tracks for everybody.
What was that? Were there guys in fantasy football that were interesting other than Calvin Ridley?
I mean, Julio Jones still for a time before the injuries happened.
No doubt. Yeah, he was interesting. My point is, as a team, I swear to God, I don't know where there was. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there was an less interesting team. I felt like, man, when you who's a running back for the Falcons? Hell, I don't know when you don't know who the quarterback is, that's an interesting deal, because I think most of us feel like, we're going to know who the quarterback is. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. It seemed to me that they were just an uninteresting group, and they were pretty good. I mean, I don't know. They lost to the Eagles when the Eagles went to the playoffs, right? I mean, I don't know. I guess they're interesting, but I saw nothing interesting, and it smacked me right in the face when I saw, wow, 2016 Super Bowl. Since then, I don't see much, and I just don't think they had I don't know. It just seemed like I would never turn on the Atlanta Falcons against anybody. I guess maybe the Colts. I think I would turn that on, but I think they're the elite, and to not know. So anyway, the general manager says, "Well, we hope to get a quarterback in the draft." I'm like, really? So did the Panthers guy. Now, I know who the Panthers quarterback is, but you know who the Panthers quarterback is?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. And the only reason we know that is because Sam Darnold's a bigger name. He got traded from New York. Do you know how Sam Darnold did this year?
Not great.
He did good early, and then he was just a guy. So then I saw another headline was, well, Carolina GM told Sam Darnold there's a pretty good chance we could add a quarterback. I would think so. I mean, I just think it's fine. I just think the quarterback is such a big position that it becomes a headline when a general manager that has a quarterback that literally, I didn't know, Jimmy didn't know, most of you probably didn't know. Maybe we knew it when the trade was made. Everybody knows that Matt Ryan's here.
Well, the reason that Panthers headline particularly draws eyeballs is because everybody's talking about quarterback likely going to see late first round, second round and beyond is when they'll move.
Yeah.
The Panthers don't have a pick until the fourth round. Other than pick 6, they're not taking a quarterback 6th overall.
I don't know. Then once he said that, then that became news.
Right.
Like, could they pick a quarterback 6th overall? I don't know. But if you're trying to, and they said in the draft, if you're trying to add one in the draft, here's the other question. Do you draft, and I'm talking about those two teams mostly, do you draft a quarterback because you need a quarterback, or do you wait and say, no, I'm not drafting a guy? See, and if I don't truly believe I need a quarterback, maybe this guy hits. I would never draft a quarterback on a maybe this guy hits. I don't think I would.
If you're rounds 4 and beyond, if it's a guy you legitimately scouted, and he's a flyer guy, I'm content with that. But anything in the first 3 rounds, if you're not lock solid on it and you have clear other needs you need to address, you have no business taking a quarterback.
I agree. I don't want to be married to a guy that I just don't think is any good.
Like if the Colts, just for the sake of argument, I don't think it's going to happen, but let's say at 42 they stay there, and it's, I don't know, Malik Willis or Desmond Ridder off the board, I would be livid as a Colts fan.
If they took one of those two.
Because you have clear other needs that you need to address at that pick.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're it. Like I could very well be wrong, but just what I'm seeing and
see, I think we let the Colts off the hook. I was talking to Paul Kowarski yesterday.
If they take a QB?
I think we let the Colts off the hook with a 4th-round pick, and they ended up taking Jacob Eason and got absolutely nothing out of it.
But to me, that's a flyer pick at that point.
I agree, but you get absolutely nothing out of it. A lot of 4th-round pick guys stick. So a lot of people say, "Look, I'm not drafting in the 4th round a quarter. I'm serious about my 4th round." Look, right now, the Colts' number 1 most versatile tight end is a 4th-round pick, Kylan Granson, 127th pick in the draft. So you throw away a 4th-round pick. I don't know. I mean, I think we kind of said, all right, well, it's only a 4th-round pick. I said what you said, but I'm not sure that's accurate.
He's not dead yet, though.
Who?
Granson. Like that's
no, he's not dead
sure
yet.
He's out on that.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. You just made my point. My point is, you take a 4th-round pick and you got a shot.
Sure.
You take a 4th-round pick as a quarterback. My point is that a 4th-round pick is valuable, and just to throw it away on a flyer pick that can't beat out a 6th-round pick in Sam Darnold is a wasted pick.
It's a poor terminology on my part. What I mean is a developmental guy.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. But we all say that. But when it craps out, I don't know.
You were wrong. Not you, but they were wrong. Like they made a bad pick.
You got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So I think a good general manager uses a 4th-round pick to get somebody that at least somehow, some way can get on the field. And look, I don't know. Hey, you're desperate for a quarterback. You end up drafting Johnny Manziel in the 1st round with the Colts pick for Trent Richardson. You end up drafting Tim Tebow. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a little bit fascinating, but the quarterback, to me, if you're going to draft a quarterback, my theory is this. My theory is, hey, look, if you are a crappy quarterback, crappy's a bad word. If you are not a sure thing quarterback in my mind, you should not be able to beat out. You should not be able to beat out Jared Goff in his 2nd year. I'm just telling you, you shouldn't. His 2nd year with an organization, his 5th or whatever year it is, by being in the NFL. If you are Aaron Rodgers coming out of college, or you are Andrew Luck, or you are Peyton Manning, or you are whomever, then yeah, you should be able to beat them out. But I don't even know if there is a quarterback that I would say that is in this draft, or at least what has been reported. I understand everybody likes Malik Willis, but there's a lot of things with that. I mean, just stop. I mean, to act like there isn't, you guys are crazy. But you shouldn't be, as a mediocre quarterback, you should not be able to beat out a guy, a veteran, that has been in the league, and unless he's hurt, and has been with that team. You just shouldn't be able to. I mean, that's how I would look at it. So if I were a coach, I would say, hey, wait a second, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fill the needs that we need to fill so that we have a team that is really good. We need to fill whatever our offensive game plan is that, well, frankly, adds to this quarterback. That's what it should be. It's like we should get some that adds to this, that makes this quarterback good, that plays to this quarterback's strength. That's what we really should do. I mean, and anything other than that, you're just taking a flyer, and taking a flyer, I mean, that costs you an opportunity to get somebody in here that could really help you. So people say, well, the Colts went and traveled to see Desmond Ridder. Well, it would be malpractice if they didn't. It's like the whole Deflategate thing. If you know that you have this information on Tom Brady and you're Grigson or you're whomever, you got to turn that in. You got to go make a drive down I-74. You got to. Period. I mean, there are no ifs, ands, or buts in this bad boy. So, anyway, I think it's fascinating. I'm not taking a quarterback that I do not believe in, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. So, hey, at the end of the day, we shall see what we shall see. But I'm on record. I want one of the two tight ends, one from UCLA Dulcich and the other one Rutger or whatever the hell his name is from Ohio State. Ruckert. When Urban Meyer says he's the best tight end that I think I've ever seen, that's good enough for me. And he said it without, ladies and gentlemen, without coaching the guy, without being a homer. He said it from the get-go. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, that's what I'm doing. Dan, as we talk about quarterbacks, I once heard that Peyton Manning was the first player drafted number one at quarterback to win a Super Bowl. I think Jim Plunkett was the number one pick in the draft. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I thought Jim Plunkett was the number one pick, and he won a Super Bowl before Peyton Manning. I think when he came out, I think so. No, doesn't mean that I'm right, but I know he won a Super Bowl, right? I mean, maybe there's some other caveat. In fact, he won 2 Super Bowls. He was a Super Bowl MVP, Heisman Trophy winner a long time ago in 1970. So
9 quarterbacks have done it. Plunkett is one of them.
Does it say who's the first?
Bradshaw in 1970.
There you go. Yeah, so that's an interesting question. I'll tell you who didn't do it, Andrew Luck. Is Andrew Luck coming back? The two guys in our world that it is amazing to me. It's truly amazing. One is Andrew Luck. He disappeared and has not been seen or heard from in this area, and supposedly he lives here, and I say supposedly because I don't know. The other one is former Butler coach Brandon Miller. Like, Brandon Miller was an up-and-comer, right? Brandon Miller was like the guy. And all of a sudden, Brandon Miller, he leaves, and next thing you know, man, he just disappeared. We have not heard from him. So, good news for Indiana. Malachi Branham has announced that he is staying in the 2022 NBA draft. He's a stud out of Ohio State. He just had a press conference, and he said, I wasn't thinking about 4 years at all. He said, if I had a good season, it's possible for being a one-and-done player. How about that? Man, that's pretty good. I wish I could have gone to college with that kind of mentality. I wish I could have gone to college. You know what? I'm that good. I'm going to be a one-and-done. I just went there to hopefully make the team, and that's stupid. Don't ever do that. That's the only thing maybe about an athletic career, maybe about my life that I regret. Can't do that. Should have gone there saying, oh, man, I'm going to be a one-and-done. I wasn't one-and-dones then, but hey, whatever. Instead of just trying to be on a team, Malachi Branham, there you go. So that's good news for Indiana. There are 2 things that I am telling you. When we go into next season, Indiana basketball is going to be – there are 3 things, actually. Indiana basketball is going to be the favorite in the Big Ten. I think that's pretty much established, although Hunter Dickinson coming back is kind of a sweet deal for Michigan. It really is. Number 2, Colts are going to win. I'm going to bet this now, actually. Colts are absolutely going to win the AFC South. It's just their time. And I don't know. I think the whole Tannehill thing is over. I do. And I think that the Colts are going to be pretty good. I'm into Matt Ryan. I'm into Gus Bradley. Everything else is just media hype. Nothing else matters. Those 2 guys I'm into. I am. And then the third thing is we are going to, I don't know if he's going to get it done, but Aiden O'Connell, to me, is going to win the Heisman. However, I am going to tear down the billboards if he struggles against Penn State. Because when you're Aiden O'Connell at Purdue, guess what you got to do? You got to do it on the biggest stage, and that probably is the biggest stage in college football for Purdue this year. I think. That's not to say somebody isn't going to get hot. I mean, last year at this time, nobody would have thought the highest-ranked team Purdue was going to play would be Michigan State at number 3, Ohio State number 4 at the time. But I think that, look, if he has a monster game and anybody's actually paying attention, which, that's a big if, right? But if anybody's actually paying attention, then you got a real opportunity here for a great start. Now, it's not like Penn State is considered great. In the Associated Press polls, I don't see Penn State here. But, of course, this could be last year's. It says preseason college football rankings, and all the idiots that go with the way too early and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. But one thing I do know is Aiden O'Connell has the right schedule, the right coach. I wish he had David Bell back. He does not play Michigan, Michigan State, or Ohio State. They should go 10-2 at minimum. I don't see where anybody thinks Penn State's great, so even though they have fantastic name recognition, he should throw for 596 yards against them, and away you go. Then people are talking. Particularly if Jimmy and I get all in on this, then you got a serious problem because I think it's going to be that kind of good. Maybe one SEC quarterback in this draft. No Big Ten quarterbacks that are exciting anybody in this draft. Isn't that a little odd? I mean, since 2007, the SEC has had the most draft choices. Obviously, the next one is, I believe it is the Big Ten. And when you look at mock drafts, there's one guy, Matt Corral, that possibly could be an early round draft choice out of those two leagues at quarterback. Now, I don't know nothing about it. And when I look at the top 6 quarterbacks, Malik Willis, Liberty, Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh, Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati, finally, Ole Miss, Matt Corral, North Carolina, Sam Howell, Carson Strong, Nevada. Like, what the hell? Like, don't we have any Big Ten guys? The number 1 running back, Breece Hall, Iowa State. Rashad White, number 2, Arizona State. Tyler Algier, who I like. Brigham Young. Finally, Kenneth Walker III, Michigan State. Then you got a guy from Texas A&M. Jimmy, they rate Kyron Williams as most overrated. I like Kyron Williams. He's fast. I don't know. All I know is, where's the Big Ten quarter? Aren't we supposed to have the greatest league? And you got all these guys with all these quarterback coaches, and we got we got Nevada, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh as your best quarterbacks, Liberty, Lion cheating, Hugh Freeze. That's what we got? Hey, YouTube chat, straighten me out here. But what do we got here? Where's the Big Ten folk? Crazy.
You have Tom Brady, and you have Russell Wilson, and that's the list.
In the NFL
starting quarterback.
Get out of here.
I had to double check. I thought about it, and I could only come up with Wilson. Forgot about Tom Brady.
Get out of here.
Yep. That are active starters. That is the list.
Nuh-uh. Wow.
So I was thinking Wilson has to be the most recent quarterback to do really well out of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
He's the most recent one to still have a starting job. So,
wow. Tom Brady's old as me. We got nobody. Dan, what are the odds? This is from Rob Kendall.
Kirk Cousins. That's my bad. Sorry.
You like this?
You like that?
This is from Rob Kendall. He hosts a great morning show, 93.1. I listen every morning. What are the odds of an O'Connell for Heisman, IU for Big Ten parlay? Well, I'm going to look that up. But I know O'Connell, Rob, was 10,000 to 1. Now, I'm not going to lie. I put 50 large on that. Indiana, maybe it's a bounce back. Is that what Rob Kendall's saying? Is this a bounce back, Jimmy? Could you see a bounce back under the great Jack Tuttle? I don't know. A bounce back would be a Big Ten win, I think.
Eddie Garrison, producer extraordinaire, is quickly correcting me because I can't read a list in front of me. Justin Fields as well, Dan. So it's not as bad.
What are you doing?
I'm suck. That's what I'm doing. I'm killing the show.
Respect the show.
Not respecting the show.
Give the good
right
info. Yeah, that's 4. So that's 4?
Thank you, Eddie Garrison. So 4 of 32.
That's not horrible. Is it? I don't know.
I would have to spend a break. I don't feel confident enough in myself to...
Don't bother. It ain't what do the kids say? It ain't that deep. All of a sudden, I don't know. There's no futures here for Indiana winning the Big Ten. A lot of people are saying Justin Fields is from the Big Ten. No, he's not. He's from Georgia. How about that? He's not really. Well, I guess you say the same thing about, even more so probably about Russell Wilson. He's from North Carolina State. All right. Hey, look, Paul, Adam, we corrected it, but thanks for listening to the show.
My list has Andy Dalton listed as the starter, so I'm absolving the Justin Fields omission.
He might be. Didn't he sign somewhere and got a little bit of a deal? People loved him some Andy Dalton, man.
This was from week 18 of the 2021 season.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. It's closer than what I'm seeing right now. Aiden O'Connell for Heisman. Yep. Do it, and more do it. I have seen the... Boy, that'd be a par. That'd be like 1,000,000 to 1. They may not even take your action, Rob Kendall, if you took Indiana to win the Big Ten and Aiden O'Connell to win the Heisman. Jimmy, there's a bet today in the NBA. It's driving me crazy. I'm going to tell you what it is when we come back.
Imagine a life without the credit cards. Pay off your debt in 21 days or less with a simple cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Indy, finally springtime, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
Over the years, I've had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Indy, now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's Stan Dakich here. Do what we all do, and that's use BSN Sports. And when I say we all, I mean your high school. From equipment, bats, balls, rackets, golf clubs, to spirit wear and everything in between. Uniforms for your team, practice gear for your team. And your team can include baseball, basketball, football, softball, volleyball. It don't matter. It can also include travel teams, little league teams. BSN Sports handles it all, and not only are they the best sporting goods dealer in the country, they are the most connected. So supply chain is not a big deal. We love high school sports, and we love that high school sports, well, here in Indiana, it is the most anticipated year, and it's certainly lived up through football, basketball, volleyball season thus far. Right now, high school sports with baseball, softball, et al., we got it going on, so do yourself a favor. Nominate your team for the BSN Sports 107.5 The Fan High School Team of the Week. We will select a winner on Friday's show.
Many people my age who went to college, they'll do something great in the future. But I'm doing something great now.
If you like seeing what you accomplish every day, Why not make that your career instead of a desk job?
I know a lot of people without any direction. Well, my direction is up while I help build this high-rise.
Your training is free, so you learn while you earn.
My friends finished their degree in 4 years. That's about what it took for us to finish laying down about a dozen new roads.
Careers as a union laborer are rewarding and ready now. As a member of Laborers Local 120, you'll earn good pay and benefits with lots of job choices.
I do pipeline work.
I'm a concrete finisher.
I lay miles and miles of asphalt.
This is Ward Daniels, Business Manager of Laborers Local 120. Joining us can lead to a satisfying career for you or someone you know.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
We are now accepting qualified apprentices and journeymen. Visit labors120.com to apply.
It's a fact. Only 0.0001% of people will ever step up to the plate as a pro baseball player. For the rest of us, there's BetRivers.com Sportsbook app. Featuring same-game parlays, you can combine different bets all from the same game. Totals? Bet 'em. Spreads? Bet 'em. Player props? It's a home run. Download the BetRivers.com Sportsbook app today. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Spring is here, which means it's time to take advantage of the Home Depot low price guarantee. We're offering the best brands at the best prices so you can take on as much as you want. Add the thrill of a great deal to the satisfaction of getting your projects done. And if you find a lower price from one of our competitors, we'll match it. Because when we say nobody beats our prices, we mean it. It feels like spring savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
If your office is reopening, Staples has you covered.
With office essentials like snacks, water, and coffee for the break room?
Staples has you covered.
How about custom printing and office supplies?
Covered.
And what about savings?
Staples has you covered there too. And now save even more, because this week when you spend $100 on anything in store, you'll earn a $30 store bonus.
That should cover it.
Staples, the working and learning store. Limit 1, ends 4/30. Rewards members only. Bonus must be redeemed in store. See staplesconnect.com/store bonus for details.
Join the team at Speedway and give your career a boost. Participating Speedway stores are hosting a National Hiring Day on May 3rd, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So come check out the opportunities Speedway has for everyone.
The Indiana Golden Glove Boxing Tournament is back, and we are giving away free tickets. Keep an eye out on our 107.5 The Fan Facebook page for a comment to win social post every Wednesday.
Matthew Ryan. The Colts already have a new look.
Done deal. So excited to be here in Indianapolis.
But the work is far from over.
Yeah, there's a couple of players right at the top that you obviously would love to have.
This is the most important draft in years.
With the first pick,
Kevin Bowen, Rick Venturi, and the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, take you inside the Colts draft.
It's an exciting time.
The NFL Draft, starting Thursday night on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. It's the Dan Dakich Show, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Here's the Dan Dakich Show. We had a hell of an article, or a hell of an interview earlier with Teddy Greenstein. Jen Nagy coming up. He is the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. Yeah. I would like for us to line on the golf outing. Okay. Yeah. The 18th, ladies and gentlemen, is when the golf outing is happening. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Can't wait. July 18th. Get your tickets. Get going. We're going to do some interesting things, and we're going to have more fun. That's what we're going to do. Summer's going to be great. Danny D's Summer of Fun is back. I'm going to have an absolute blast. I've got more clarity now that the last 2 weeks, I've got more clarity that, I did these monk diets and the monk fast. Not a diet, it's a fast. Yeah, I don't know. My guys here are saying that this kid, Luke Brown, that Doyle once again swung and missed on. Doyle really needs to write an article ripping me to settle me down on him because I like Greg, but, I don't know if the dude's leaving. I have no idea, but, man, somebody on our YouTube channel says, I heard this morning that Luke Brown is leaving Ball State. Look, guys come in here like Doyle from Cincinnati. They think they understand high school basketball. They see a guy that scores some points. I've never seen anything like it. We've all seen guys like it. Are you kidding me? Of course we've all seen. Hell, man, I remember my buddy Larry Schellenberg, man. He averaged there's so many guys, man. There's so many dudes that come through and score a ton of points. But when you come in from Cincinnati like Greg did and you try to ingrain yourself with high school hoops around here, you're like, oh, this guy's the greatest I've ever seen. Okay. We've all seen him. We have. We've all seen. I mean, we all know. My friend Doug Crook, great, man. Led a team to a state championship. I mean, great player. But, guys come in from other states and they're like, oh, my God, this guy's going to be the greatest player ever. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. What's my guy's name from Warsaw? My guy from Warsaw was a bad boy. I can't remember his name. He played in the 1981 state final, scored a ton of points, man. He was a good player, too. I liked him. We played on the Indiana All-Star team together. He was great. But, we know. Greg Brown's the greatest player in the world, man. I can't believe how great he is. Oh, he's going to Stetson. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, he left Stetson. He's perfect fit for Ball State. Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. Oh, he left Ball State. He's a perfect player for anywhere. Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. So I hope it works out for the kid. I do. I want everything. I want, I want everything to work out for for that kid. But I don't know whether he's leaving or not. I have no idea. But hopefully everything works out. And if he was smart, he would stay and play for Mike Lewis. But maybe it's not his choice. I got no problem. No problem. Not even a little bit of a problem with coaches kicking guys off. Zero problem. Hey, look, if dudes can transfer, then I got no freaking interest in whether or not players can say, hey, this coach kicked me off. Yeah, tough. That's how I look at it. I'm not saying I'm right, but I ain't wrong either. I mean, if a coach kicks you off, say, hey, look, that's part of the business now. Because aren't we, I don't know, aren't we evened up here? No? Nah. To me, we are. There's an article a guy wrote, I don't know where it was, Sports Illustrated or somewhere, where they were talking about, well, you're not really a coach if you kick people off. Well, maybe you're not. But you better figure it out. And you better understand a couple of things, one of which is, we have got to go win games. And if you have guys that aren't going to help you win games, to say it clearly, hasta la vista, baby. If you got to kick a kid out of there, adios, goodbye, sayonara, la noche, goodbye. I don't even know if we can say those things anymore. It seems like you can. I mean, are those bad things to say? I don't know. So, but Luke Brown, he's the greatest thing ever, man. And you guys would say, we had a guy in my home. It's like the guy that plays golf at your country club who's in his 20s who's really good. And you just know, like Greg just knows his little thing. You get a deal where you go, well, in my little world, this guy's going to be a PGA professional. Well, he's going to be on a PGA tour. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. And next thing you know, not even close. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to get to the Big Ten. It is, man. It's hard. Like, it's hard to be truly really good. Dakich bad-mouthing Luke Brown because... No, I'm not bad-mouthing Luke Brown. I'm bad-mouthing the media that made Luke Brown, but I get it, Rex. You got your whole little site where you're trying to get at me. I'm not bad-mouthing the kid at all. The kid, hey, look, kid's going to do what the kid's going to do. I'm bad-mouthing everybody telling me, well, he's the greatest player. Yeah, okay. All right. We just all know that have lived here, right? Anyway, 317-239-1070. Hope he ends up with a good career. I don't care who leaves Mike's program. I figure whoever leaks Mike's program, whoever comes into Mike's program, Mike's going to have the program run right. But I get it. The level is stupid. Anyway, let's go back to Deportes. When you look at the Colts, I see a team that is going to win its division, not because the Colts are so good. No. I see a team that's going to win a division because the division is so bad. And what has to happen in that division is, for it to be any good, is this. You must have Jacksonville make a leap under a quarterback that everyone says is generational. Now, I would argue, because this is what I have been told, that what Urban did there will have lasting good effect. A good effect on that organization. We shall see if that NTN kid comes back. That is a huge help. Why? Because, as we said yesterday, and I will continue to say, you need a guy like Deebo Samuel. Everyone's trying to find a Deebo Samuel, a Percy Harvey, a guy you can run, a guy you can pass to. They have it in Etienne. Colts have it in Nyheim Hines. We shall see what we shall see. Colts don't have a tight end. Wouldn't mind a tight end around these parts. One that can get down the field a little bit. Colts don't have a great wide receiver. Wouldn't mind a wide receiver around these parts. The only area I think where it is possible that fans might be critical of the Colts draft is if they take another edge rusher. Now, some will say, well, edge rusher is a really important position. And I would say, you are right. You're absolutely right. However, how many times are you going to throw something at the wall and hope it sticks as opposed to something absolutely stick? Now, I don't know. But I know that. No, it wasn't Kevin Ault or Jeff Gross. It was before that. It was way before that. I don't know. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, if you draft another edge rusher, you got to start at least questioning what the hell we've been doing around here. There are good edge rushers. There's always, look, just draft Georgia's defense. Move up and draft Jordan Davis. I'm all in on that. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be awesome. 317-239-1070 is the number. Dan at 1070thefan.com. Man, this is something I didn't even think existed anymore. When we come back, I am going to tell you something. Someone, 6 people, actually, that got arrested, and I swear to you, I did not think this existed. We'll be right back.
Day is next weekend. Sundown Gardens has everything you need for mom, gift certificates, and great items in Miss Mary's Gift Shop, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, or sundown.gardens.com.
BetMGM is pitching baseball fans a chance to swing for the fences. Register using the code THEFAN200, all one word, capital T, capital F, and win $200 in free bets when you place a $10 moneyline wager on any Major League Baseball game, and either team hits a home run regardless of your bet's outcome. Enjoy baseball like never before with BetMGM's daily promotions at your fingertips all season long. Sign up today and find out why nothing beats a win at the king of sportsbooks. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hi, honey. Just checking in for my trip. How's everything on the home front?
John, a big storm just hit us and the power is out. The temperature in the house is already getting really uncomfortable. I can't make the kids dinner without power, and they aren't able to get their homework done with no internet.
Don't get into a situation like this. Extreme weather and grid outages are becoming more and more common. You need to protect your family and your home from power outages. You need a Kohler backup generator that automatically kicks on when the power goes out. Just call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. Unlike portable models, Kohler backup generators offer hands-off operation without the need to refuel. They automatically power your entire home, hassle-free. And with Kohler, you know you can trust this generator when you need it. Don't wait until it's too late and severe weather hits. Call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. You can't afford not to call. Call 800-219-4389. That's 800-219-4389. 800-219-4389.
Hey, it's Big Joe with Ryan Kelly. He's on the hotline right now. 317-550-1515 is how you get a hold of the Home Loan Expert, or you go to thehomeloanexpert.com. And Ryan, when people go to your website right now, there's a great picture of your young family on the front page. Now, I don't know if people realize that you've actually built your company to take care of families just like your own.
Oh, man. Yeah, I got 3 beautiful children and a lovely wife. They help keep it all together. They're my family. They're everything. And right behind them is our Home Loan Expert family, the people that I have the privilege of working with every day. Top producers in the industry, equally. They're all awesome. So I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of families out there. And when you can help them get into the right home for those families, it just means the world to us. It's why we work as hard as we do to ensure that your family is in the perfect home and doesn't ruin that experience with some bad mortgage lender, So if you're thinking about buying a house, you can trust us, and I'll prove that to you. We want to earn your business. Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Financial authors Brett Skipper and Dennis Parrish from right here in Indianapolis want to give you a free copy of their new book, Crash Proof Wealth. Because according to Time Magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, they said enough, and they've discovered a way to grow money potential double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and when the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call the Spectrum Financial Group now to get a free copy of the book and talk to the authors personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-503-2828 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. They'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 1-800-503-2828. That's 1-800-503-2828. 1-800-503-2828.
The NTT IndyCar Series races at the Grand Prix of Alabama, Sunday at 12:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Sack up. It's the Dan Dakich Show on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Yeah! Don't be a nut job out here. Happy birthday yesterday, Melania Trump, man. That woman speaks 6 languages, is the hottest woman ever in politics, and we can't talk about it because Michelle Obama's got great arms. Anyway, yeah, I love it. I love it. Hey, Jimmy, I told folks today, I didn't do it because apparently I'm too stupid, but I told folks today to take the St. Louis Cardinals. They're currently up 1-0. I'm on another bad run here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on another bad run, but I got to tell you, tonight it's a 12-point spread, It's the Bulls and the Bucks. The Bulls a week ago looked like they had something going. I've documented it in Chicago on Friday. A lot of people coming up to me saying, hey, man, the Bulls, they can get it done. Middleton out for Milwaukee. Bulls had just beaten them. Next thing you know, one was a 30-point beatdown. The other one was a 20-plus point beatdown. And now, Game 5 back in Milwaukee, you got no Zach LaVine and no Alex Caruso. Come on. Only 13 teams in NBA history have overcome a 3-1 deficit. I don't know, man. The line is 12. It's a tempting line. It really is. Caruso, that dude's at 19-5-6. No, I'm sorry. LaVine was at 19-5-6. Caruso 6-4-1. But everybody thinks Caruso is like this winning genie unicorn kind of guy. 2 starters out for the Heat. I don't know if you saw this, but the Heat ended up winning by 3. Lowry out. Then Jimmy Butler had inflammation in his knee. Oladipo only played 96 of a possible 309 regular season games the past 4 years. He ended up with 23. I'm telling you, first game back, man. You guys question it all the time, but hey, you do you. First game back. It's the first time Oladipo scored 20 in a playoff game since he did it against a Heat in the bubble with the Pacers. Yeah. All right. So Oladipo, he got back in the flow. The Heat won, and Kyrie Irving says that, he's running basically the franchise over there in Brooklyn. Better Brooklyn than anywhere else. So, away you go. I don't care. John Morant's dunk yesterday was the best dunk I've seen. Best shot I've ever seen is, and you can look this up, Julius Erving one-handing it from the right side under the backboard. The swoop to the hoop, I think they called it over Mark Landesberger, and it was great. I think it was unbelievable. I think it was Landesberger. It was absolutely great. I mean, it was not kind of good. But yesterday, man, oh, man, all of a sudden, John Morant, I'm sure you've seen it by now. Look, you know this. I don't get all that excited about dunks very often, right? I mean, if it's a dunk where, hey, look, Lorenzo Charles just dunked it, and next thing you know, you win a national championship, that's great. But that doesn't happen very often. And that one last night, holy hell. Then I'll give him credit. I mean, dumb loses more than smart wins. And at the end of the game, he had 2 guys make really dumb plays. And one of them was John Morant. He fell asleep. Next thing you know, right corner, 3-ball for Anthony Edwards. Every coach in America should clip that play. Side out of bounds, about 5 seconds, 8 seconds, whatever it was. It was a fantastic play. It wasn't a good play. It was a great play. And John Morant fell asleep, and Anthony Edwards drilled it. Then on the other end, Anthony Edwards went I haven't been playing basketball that long. He tried for a steal that he had no chance of getting. And John Morant, the worst guy in the world to do this with, got a lane going to the rim, made a tough layup. But here's the deal with that. One of the things that you do, and a lot of coaches don't understand this, actually most people don't understand this, but you only go for a steal if one thing and one thing only, and you are 100% sure that you are going to get the steal. Like there is no, oh man, I was trying for a steal. No, you either get the steal or you don't go for the steal. It's literally that simple, particularly in that, hey, coach, I was just trying to make a play. No, you're being stupid. There's a difference between being aggressive and being stupid, and that's just stupid. They inbound the ball, you keep them in front, and away you go. Unless you can get the steal, and if you're 100% sure you can get the steal, you get the steal, which means you got the steal. But anything other than that is just dumb.
Paul George did the same thing 9 years ago. I looked almost identical to that play. They inbounded to LeBron at the top. He went for the steal. He overplayed. Whatever wasn't in the game, LeBron laid it up. They won it overtime.
Yeah. I guarantee you can go back to that conversation, and I guarantee I said the exact same thing. Guarantee it. Because that's just what you do. I'm sorry. You just don't do that. If you can get it, you got it. If you can't, what about, okay, no. No, and give Morant credit. He made a tough layup. But, man, oh, man, that was the game. That was unbelievable. Oh, man, that was unbelievable. That dunk came from his rear end, cocked in traffic over Malik Beasley, and away you go. That's it. I mean, that was it. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, and I was a little bit shocked because you really don't see a guy do that. You really, I mean, look, you see guys dunk, all that stuff, but no. Some guy wants to bet. You want to bet something? What are you betting there, Justin? Justin, people don't ever pay up. Folks don't ever pay me. Don't act like you're going to pay me. Don't. I told my brother at halftime, hey, look, do yourself a favor. And it didn't look like it was going to happen. I said, take the Grizzlies. I took them. Why? Well, because they had wide open looks and they kept missing. And if they were going to keep getting wide open looks and they were going to make. So I got my money back on that one. But Desmond Bain hit a three. Then they missed a couple. They came back and hit another three. And it opened things up pretty nice. So, I'm just saying, that's what we do. We give you advice that nobody else can. Speaking of that, Jim Nagy is the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. And if you know anything about the Reese's Senior Bowl, it's really the premier postseason event for guys. They come in, they're coached by NFL teams. They really are put under stress because, let's be honest, the NFL season is stressful. They want to see for the NFL and for the kids who can handle what. I mean, can you handle what? What can you handle? I don't know. We shall see what we shall see, and I am anxious to see whether or not, or Jim Nagy, what he thinks. He's also the first guy, and I'm going to ask him about this. He was on my morning show, and he was the first guy that said, hey, wait a second, I'm not totally, completely in love with this wide receiver group. So we'll talk to Jim Nagy when we come back. Mike Chappell is going to join us. Chappie's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to talk about what do the Colts need. The hell do the Colts need? I like a wide receiver. We all like a wide receiver. If you can get a good wide receiver, fantastic. But I would like a tight end. I'm big on the tight end. I am. I'm big on the tight. I like the tight end. I like get the tight end down the field. I like dynamic. That's how Dulcich was explained. I know you're hearing the same thing day after day after day after day, but let's be honest. There's only so many. I mean, if the Colts went and drafted a safety, how would you feel? They just got the McLeod kid. If the Colts went and drafted another edge lineman or a defensive lineman, how would you feel? Like, how many chances are you going to get at it? I guess we would all nod our heads if the Colts drafted an offensive lineman and a tackle. That'd be great. All right, we'll be right back. Jim Nagy, executive director of the Senior Bowl, is going to tell us who the Colts should draft.
It's Kevin and Query.
Zach Kiefer, why do you think they believe in wideout with what they have in their building right now?
I asked the question to Chris Ballard, who the hell is going to catch passes from Matt Ryan that isn't named Michael Pittman? He listed the receivers they have, and just because these guys haven't done it in the past doesn't mean they can't do it in the future. I don't have a problem betting on your young guys, but if one of them goes down to an injury in October, where are you going?
Kevin and Query.
Weekday mornings at 7.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Springtime in Indy. The home really took a hit this winter. Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41. So don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino.
Hey, Dan Dakich here again from my friends at Hubler Chevrolet. My Traverse, it served me well. I'm in the market for a new ride. And, of course, I'm talking to Brooke and my friends at Hubler. 5 Chevy locations, Franklin, Shelbyville, Rushville, Bedford, US 31 South, and Indy. Hubler has a store near you with a friendly staff that is on your side. Whether you need a new vehicle, maybe a certified pre-owned, how about auto service or maintenance, Hubler has it all. Click drivehublerchevy.com, find out more, see why Hoosiers have trusted Hubler for the last 60 years. Look, new inventory arrives each week. They sell fast. Go ahead. Plan ahead. Talk to Hubler if you're looking for something special or ask how to pre-order a new Chevy. I've done my research. I decided to reserve a 2022 Traverse. I was actually looking at the Silverado as well. It's fun. It's fun researching the technology, the safety features that Chevy offered. Also a 10-year, 200,000-mile limited warranty on a new Chevy. Hey, if car shopping for a used vehicle, Hubler has hundreds of pre-owned cars. All Q-certified vehicles include a 2-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Buy with confidence and peace of mind at Hubler. Click drivehublerchevy.com or stop in to any of the locations. Tell them Daniel J. Dakich sent you.
Baseball is here, and so is the BetRivers.com Sportsbook app, featuring same-game parlays where you can combine the excitement of different bets, all from the same game. Bet the total, spreads, player props, and more. Plus, with award-winning customer service, BetRivers.com Sportsbook app, here comes a baseball joke, is a home run. Download the BetRivers.com Sportsbook app today. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis. Your home for the 2022 NBA playoffs and the NBA Finals. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love?
It's the Dan Dakich Show. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You guys know how this show works. When we get a great guest, we wear him out. It's what we do, man. Jim Nagy's a great guest. He is the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. He sees all these players. It's draft time. Jim's busy, but he's nice enough to make time. Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, let me go with you like the tight ends in this world? I'm yelling and screaming about a tight end for the Colts at 42. You got thoughts on the tight end position?
Yeah, Dan, it's appreciate you having me on again.
Sure.
Yeah, man, it's a really good class. I wouldn't say great class because there's not like any true first round type guys, but a lot of guys are going to play a long time in the league. So I think there's a handful of guys that are going to be starters. I think there's another big chunk that are going to be solid number twos, which you guys in Indy have seen what the value of that with Jack Doyle and what a great player he's been for that organization. So. A bunch of guys like that, a bunch of guys that fall into that category, guys that are ready to come in, contribute immediately. That those guys typically, for whatever reason, those tight ends usually are some of the most buttoned up guys on a roster. That's usually like the best room in any building that I've ever worked in is our tight end room. Usually a bunch of good dudes. So a bunch of guys ready to play, and a lot of combo guys that can do both. That can play in the line of scrimmage and catch. Other guys that are more like, more just strictly pass catchers, but guys that should be able to come in and have a role, smart guys that can get it and pick it up right away. So, it's a good year to need one.
Is Ruckert and Dulcich the two best?
I think Trey McBride, if you pulled everyone in the league, and I've been doing a lot of that lately, is talking to guys around the league. I think most teams have Trey McBride from Colorado State is the top guy. Mackey Award winner, really good athlete. You go back to his high school stuff, and the kid was like all-time leading scorer on his basketball team in high school, all-time leading home runs hitter in baseball, like just one of those throwback three-sport guys. But yeah, Dulcich is a former walk-on from UCLA. Again, more of a pass catcher, but what he can do in the pass game is really cool. He's a big playmaker. Like he can, not a great route runner in terms of like sharpness and at the top of a route, but you run him on seam routes and over routes where he can just catch the ball on the run. He can run away from you, which he did that against LSU for about an 80-yard touchdown. He had a really nice year. Left as a junior. He's a good one. And then Jeremy Ruckert is a true combo guy. He's got some ass kicker to him as a blocker. He'll get after you in the run game, and then is capable of way more than he was able to show in the pass game at Ohio State. There's usually just not enough balls to go around. But both good players. I think both those guys will be starters.
Urban Meyer called him the best tight end prospect he's ever seen, which is that's pretty good. Hey,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, he's seen some guys. Hey, let me go a couple different directions for you, and this is a little bit off I guess. The SEC, we all think the SEC is the best conference and the whole Georgia team on defense is going to be drafted and all that kind of stuff. But let me ask you, why do we not see this year any, other than Matt Corral, I guess, who might be a first, more into the second, maybe the third, SEC quarterbacks or SEC running backs?
Usually, that's a good question on the QBs. Yeah, that is a position that just historically hasn't produced as much. You do see a lot of running backs, though. I mean, that's you just look at in the Alabama room over the years, all the guys.
Yeah, but I mean, this year, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay. This year, it goes in cycles. I think that last year you had some QBs come out, Mac Jones being one of those guys, but yeah, it's just it's some younger talent, and they had some juniors come out on the running back side. But you got Damian Pierce at Florida and Brian Robinson at Alabama, the two Georgia kids, James Cook will be probably a third-round pick. Delvin Cook's little brother. So the running back's okay. Maybe not up to past year standards. Obviously not a first-round guy in that group. I don't know if there'll be a first-round back taken in this draft. Maybe Breece Hall from Iowa State or Kenneth Walker from Michigan State. Those will probably be the top two off the board. But a little down at those positions in the SEC. But I still think the SEC will dominate the draft. They're usually around a quarter of the draft. They're usually 25 to 28% of the draft comes from that league, and I think we'll probably see the same thing this year.
That's unbelievable. Jim Nagy, Executive Director of Senior Bowl, 6 Super Bowls, 4 rings as a scout. Nobody better to talk this stuff than Jim. You said on my morning show you like this wide receiver crew. I've heard people say this is the greatest, blah, 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 blah. You like this wide receiver group.
Yeah, I like it. I don't love it. I think I just got off the phone with an agent this morning, and he's got one of the wide receivers in this class, and I do feel like it feels like there's a lot of wide receivers in this draft because a lot of them are being mocked in the first round in all these mock drafts that we look at. And I really do think a byproduct of that and why people are pushing some of these guys up, and reason why some of them could get drafted, I'm not saying there won't be a bunch go in the first round, is really where the wide receiver market's at right now. With Jacksonville giving Christian Kirk that crazy deal. The guy had 400-yard games in his first 4 years in the league, and they paid him like the third highest contract in the league. Now we're seeing the ripple effect. We're seeing Debo and A.J. Brown and Terry McLaurin and DK Metcalf. All these guys want to get paid. So you might see teams taking a lot of wideouts. You could see 6 or 7 come off as teams look for cheaper labor, but I don't think there's a bunch of first-round talents. I think Jamison Williams at the top from Alabama, Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. To me, there's a shelf after that. I think some of these guys are more second-round picks. I really feel like the value is in the second round. Even if the guys that are talked about going in the first, you're going to have Alec Pierce from Cincinnati and Christian Watson from North Dakota State. Some really high-end, big, fast guys go in the second round, and that's where you might see some teams hit on is day 2 more than the first.
See, I like John Mechie, and I just I went to one.
I do too.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like him more than a lot of these guys being talked about as first rounders. And he, teams, you first thought he was going to slide because of the ACL into the third. I'm hearing now that he is going to go in the second. If he were totally healthy, to me, he's a back end of the first round, early second round guy. So yeah, he's just a complete receiver. His game translates more to the NFL than a lot of these guys. He's sturdy. He can run routes and get open. He's a good contested catcher, and he's more of a football player than just a receiver. Like, this is a true competitive, tough kid. I mean, they tinkered with playing him at safety at Alabama. And I think if a team wanted to do that with him, like, that's how he's wired. He's got more of a defensive mentality. So yeah, I'm with you. I didn't mean to jump in on you, Dan, but John Mechie's a really good player. I
have a theory when I have really good guests on. There is no jumping in, folks. I'd rather hear you than me. We get to hear me too much. Hearing you, so there is no jumping in. It is. I want to get back to players in a minute, but lot of basketball country here, right? We love us some hoops, and because of Gene Cady and Bob Knight and Slickland and all the guys that coach here, discipline is important. You tweeted out, and Ben Simmons, when this whole thing was going on, he wasn't going to play, that you feel like, or actually, that a lot of general managers are going back to their draft board and doing double, triple checks on character.
It's so important, Dan. I mean, that when teams miss on players, they're missing more on the person than they are the player. I think the more you scout and the more you're around it, I mean, watching the tape is the easier part of the equation. The more difficult part is just trying to figure out what these guys are going to do with more time on their hands and more money in their pockets, and just how they're motivated and how they're wired. And I just, I don't get to follow basketball as closely as I used to growing up, but watching Ben Simmons the other night and kind of following the reaction, all that, him basically not playing in the playoffs, and following that reaction on Twitter, it just hit me like that. Those are things that you need to identify in the draft process when you're picking players. I mean, that should have been recognizable to whoever drafted Ben Simmons. I think, just from stuff I've read, that went back into his history a little bit. And those guys don't change. It really doesn't. I mean, 9 times out of 10, those things don't change. So, yeah, I actually had a GM after I tweeted that out the next morning. I showed up to work and got a text early that morning that said a GM saw it last night. He said, I woke up, went into the office, and took a guy off our board that we had makeup concerns about. So that's what they're doing right now. You just got to feel, when you're spending this kind of money, especially high in the draft, I mean, you got to check those boxes. You got to make sure these guys love to compete and they love football. And if they don't, I mean, there's plenty of guys that do. Why take a gamble on a guy that doesn't and think he's going to be something as a pro that he hasn't shown to be in college?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've always said, like, people give football players a bad rap. I'm like, man, if you get to that level, you're pretty freaking smart. I mean, you're different than everybody else, but that doesn't mean everybody is. That really doesn't. Hey, I want to go through Georgia and Georgia's defense. Now, basically, Georgia's going to have every guy that's even lined up in practice be drafted in this draft. I've mentioned on this show Jonathan Davis a lot. Trayvon Walker, the projected number 1 pick. You agree with Trayvon Walker, and do you think Davis is a difference maker in the NFL?
Yeah, I think Trayvon, when you talk to guys around the league, I mean, I think the consensus is you can make a really strong case. He's got the highest ceiling of any player in the draft. And again, a lot of teams like to bank on the physical traits. So I see, I mean, he's a 6'4", 272-pound guy that ran 4.51 at the combine. I mean, that's faster than a lot of corners ran, right? So you're banking on that. Jordan Davis, again, another guy, 6'4", 330, 6'5", 341, ran 4.79, which is crazy. So yeah, those two guys are going to go pretty fast in the first round. Devontae Wyatt, another defensive lineman, has a good chance to go in the first round. The linebacker crew, Nakobe Dean could go in the first. Quay Walker could go in the first. Channing Tindall's going to go in the second. So right there, that's 6 front 7 players that are going to just slam dunk go in the first 2 rounds. Maybe Tindall might get to the early third, but we could see 6 guys go off in the first 2 rounds, which on that's incredible. That just shows you how good they were on defense this year. Does
Micah Parsons, he's not the biggest dude, does he change the way people look at pass rush?
I think it changes the way, again, we just talked about, teams buying into traits. I mean, I think that's what the Cowboys did with Micah Parsons last year. You didn't see him rush the passer a bunch at Penn State. They played him off the ball a bunch. I mean, they moved him around. Never really let him get settled. And I don't blame Penn State for doing that. You had a unique talent, move him around and try to create mismatches. But, yeah, I think what it's doing is making teams say, you know what, a lot of teams passed on Micah Parsons last year because they were trying to figure out what he was. Well, why don't we just take a guy with all that physical stuff and figure it out once we get him, find a role for him, which that's why I think Trayvon Walker's got a good chance to be the number 1 overall pick because, like when I worked for the Patriots, Coach Belichick used to, talk about guys that they don't grow on trees. Well, Trayvon Walker doesn't grow on trees, guys that big and long and fast. So that's what I think Micah Parsons doing is just making teams focus on the physical stuff more.
How this? Jim Nagy joins us on the hotline brought to you by the Mower Shop. Go see my friend Paul at the Mower Shop. Go to mowershop.com. I had Ted Greenstein on. Teddy Greenstein's a friend of mine, longtime Chicago Tribune writer. He just wrote a book about quarterback dads and all the different coaching of quarterbacks that's available and all the different, the young ages that kids start into quarterback play. And I'm sitting here and I was reading your Twitter, and no slam dunk franchise guys, but a couple winning starters. Man, with the rise of college football and the rise of quarterback training and the rise of guys, off-season conditioning, it's a little odd, isn't it, that there's not one across the board in this year's draft that's a franchise guy? Or is it that hard to be a franchise guy? Let's put it that way.
It's hard to be. I mean, there's probably, I always kind of define franchise guys. You're winning Super Bowls because of that guy, right? Like you're not winning it with him. You're winning it because of him. And there's not many of those guys. There's maybe, 8 to 12 of those guys, maybe in the league. I got to get that book because that's fascinating. I'd love to read that because to me, I've seen this over the last probably 5 to 10 years. I mean, that position, because of the instruction, the individual instruction, all these QB gurus, and it's almost become a rich kid's position, Dan.
Yes, yes.
And so to me, you lose a little connectivity that way when the only kids that can play the position are kids that can afford to play the position now. That you lose that kind of gritty dude that can just get along with everyone in the locker room and connect with other people. And I think the other thing is you're seeing that position group specialize more. It used to be the quarterback used to be the point guard on the basketball team and the shortstop on the baseball team. And with that, playing those other sports, court awareness and vision and all those carryover skill sets from the other sports, you're not seeing those, right? Even hockey. I've scouted a lot of good quarterbacks that were hockey players growing up and just seeing all the different moving parts and having to read the ice. And, again, when you're specializing and you're just working with a QB guru from the time you're 8 years old, I think you're missing out on some of that stuff. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think it just speaks to the state of where we're at with that position right now.
I'm telling you, do me a favor. You're following me. I'll follow you. Just send me a DM of your address because I'm going to have you will love this book. It goes in. He talked to Archie Manning. He's talked to, Kurt Warner's really. He's got all these different types of quarterback, and it's, there's a quarterback coach named Dooley who's kind of a guru. He's behind a lot of it. I mean, you would be fascinated by it based on what you're saying. It's exactly what you're saying, Jim.
I'd love to read it. Yeah, I'll definitely shoot you my address. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, let me get back to a couple of things, and I'm basing this more off the Colts than anything else. When you look at the second round, you ought to be able to get somebody that can play. I mean, I would think we've talked about tight ends, cornerback. Where's it? Where would a 42nd pick? Would a 42nd pick avail itself to a cornerback that could come in and play?
Yeah, I think it could. Theoretically, Dan, you always want your first 3-round guys to come in and play. Yes. I mean, ideally, if you nail a draft, you're getting starters into the third round. If you feel like you're doing it right, and then 4 through 7, depth level guys, and if hopefully you hit on a couple of those guys and they become more than that. But safely, I mean, at minimum, you want your first 3-round guys. So yeah, I think there's going to be some guys in the second round, in around 41. I think one right here in Mobile, where I'm talking to you from, is a guy named Roger McCreary, corner from Auburn, who is a guy, a 3-year starter in the SEC, highly productive guy. Like, he's been dinged a little bit through this process because his arms aren't real long. But I don't really ding him that way because usually where you see that show up is their inability to get their hands on the ball. And when you look at Rodgers' production on the ball with PBUs and interceptions over the last 3 years, I think it's the best in this draft. So really feisty kid, competitive, has always played his best in big games. Like in the Iron Bowl this year against Mechie and Jamison Williams, I think he had 4 PBUs in that game, which did a really nice job on a couple of really good receivers. So you could get a guy like that. You get like Marcus Jones is a kid who's a really good slot player from Houston. All-American returner, is both a kick and punt returner if the Colts need an upgrade there. He's played nickel, he's played outside, he's played free safety. So there's actually going to be some really good options there where they're picking around 41.
I'm not saying as a second rounder, but what is your take on David Bell, the kid out of Purdue?
Haven't focused on him as much as some of the other guys. He wasn't a senior, and he's not. We do work on the juniors, not quite as extensively, but to me, what I've seen of him looks more of like a possession receiver. I know there was a lot of early talk in the process about him being a high round guy. Our staff has him graded in the 4th round. And again, that's where a lot of those receivers start coming off. And there was a really good testing wideout class too. That's where I think David, fell behind in this class and dropped off a little bit, as the testing numbers weren't where a lot of these guys in his class are. So I would expect him to go off early day 3.
Man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jim. I know I've wore you out, and I don't mean to, but you're so good. I want to keep
fun. I love coming on, Dan. You're not wearing me out, man. Anytime. Love to come on.
Send me your address. I got to get you this book. It's really good. You'll love it.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Enjoy the draft.
All right, you too. That's Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl. See, David Bell, to me, is a guy. God dang it. I hope he falls, and I hope the Colts get him. I'm a big David Bell fan. And if I'm going to brag, I got to get slapped around a little bit. The Mets are up 4-1 on the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm telling you, everything I touch turns to crap. White Sox are beating the Kansas City Royals. Did you see our boy Benetti yesterday? He couldn't announce it. I was talking to him last night. I'm like, dude. He goes, yeah, if we'd have done this, a day later. But the Sox are playing an afternoon game. But he is announced as a Sunday Night Baseball guy on NBC, WNBC, and Peacock. How about that? He's going to be joined by a local analyst for Major League Baseball games on Peacock. That's a great move for Benetti. It's fantastic. It's unbelievable.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Really, really proud.
Yeah, absolutely. You kidding me? We need more Benetti. We need way more Benetti. Yeah. Oh, man. I love it. Look, more Benetti. Why wouldn't ESPN? Why the ESPN keep messing around? Just make him now you can't, but you can't make him the face of Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football because you just hired Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and they're very good. But, I should have asked him his take on Karlaftis. I did wanted to make sure David Bell. I think Karlaftis is a late 1st round, early 2nd round guy. In fact, tomorrow when we're talking to Jeff Brom, he's going to join us from Vegas where he is with Karlaftis. So there you go, man. Look, I think that the Colts are going to come out of this draft. Well, you know what the media is going to say. I think they're going to come out of this draft with one guy that can help them on offense and another guy that can help them on defense. And I think the draft itself, 6, 7, 8, who knows? But I do think, with their first 2 picks, obviously not having a 1st-round draft choice, I think you're going to see the Colts come out of this with a guy that's going to help. And I really feel like a tight end is going to be in play. Maybe it's later. Maybe it's the 2nd pick. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I just saw this. Somebody just sent this to me. Nyheim Hines, apparently Matt Ryan really likes what he's seen from Nyheim Hines. The way he gets in and out of cuts is special. I'm trying to tell you. Like, if Reich and what's that guy's name, Marcus Brady? If Reich and Marcus Brady have a brain between the two of them, which is the jury is out because they have not figured out how to use this kid. And if you can't figure out how to use this kid, then get your backside down to Miami and talk to that guy, the new coach down there at Miami who used Deebo Samuel, or go to talk to San Francisco and study San Francisco tape. I mean, damn, you got a guy that's a sprinter, a guy that when you get him in a little bit of space, just a little bit, every time he touches the ball, he could bust it, and we're sitting there doing nothing with him. Fantasy guys, get yourself some Nyheim Hines. Get yourself a nice dose of Nyheim Hines, people. A nice little dose. I think you'll thank me later. Seriously, thank me later on that. It is hump day. I am Dan Dakich, Jimmy Cook right here. What does this say here? If that hits, I think that just give you an... Yeah. Early on, what are the odds of an O'Connell for Heisman and IU for Big Ten parlay in football? Boy, that'd be astronomical. I mean, astronomical. All right, race of the day coming up in about 15 or 20 minutes. Jimmy's Bets coming up. If you'd like to join, it's 317-239-1070, baby. Let's go.
Make the short trip to experience Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville, less than an hour from Indy. Give Antler Point in Rushville a swing. AntlerPointGolf.com. That's point with an E.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, April 27th, we're doing something unprecedented. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. Guys, you will love it. And today only, we're offering 3 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is worth $1,000. Call today, Wednesday, April 27th, and qualify free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Indianapolis, at Geico, our employees' careers matter to us.
An inclusive office matters to me.
We hear you, Kelly. Geico has employee resource groups to bring people from all communities together because diversity matters. Your hopes and dreams matter. Even giving you a little space for your lucky bobblehead matters.
Want to work at Geico, Randy? Oh, he says yes.
When it comes to your career, what matters to you matters to Geico. We're now hiring claims, sales, and customer service agents. Apply today at careers.geico.com/Indianapolis, and let's get growing.
Dan Dakich here for the Michaelis Corporation, spelled like Michael is, but pronounced Michaelis. Here's what you need to do. You need to call Michaelis at 844-FIX-INDY or go online at michaeliscorp.com if you have anything that needs waterproofing. If you have any water damage. You know, we've had a lot of rains here lately. Who needs to deal with water damage? Same thing with wind. Stuff blowing on your house, down on your house, off your house. It's insane what's going on with the wind and the rain, but we know it's going to last probably until June. So if you have any problem, do yourself a favor. 844-FIX-INDY is the number to call. Bill, Dave, James, Brandon, the whole crew will come out and they will help you like they have helped me. Or you can go online at michaeliscorp.com. It's really that simple. I like to deal with professionals. I like to trust who is in my house. And guess what? That is Michaelis.
On Wednesday, May 4th, the 500 Festival Kickoff to May kicks off on Monument Circle and starts the countdown to the Indy 500. Head to 1075thefan.com/events for all the details.
Matthew Ryan. The Colts already have a new look.
Done deal. So excited to be here in Indianapolis.
But the work is far from over.
Yeah, there's a couple players right at the top that you obviously would love to have.
This is the most important draft in years.
With the first pick,
Kevin Bowen, Rick Venturi, and the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, take you inside the Colts draft.
It's an exciting time.
The NFL Draft, starting Thursday night on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. He's been covering the Colts since before some of you were born. It's the Dean Mike Chappell of Fox 59 and CBS 4 on the Dan Dakich Show, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Are you guys all right down in Bloomington? I'm following Knicks, right? And man, I gotta tell you, everybody looks tired. You guys are all tired. You guys been fighting all the fights, right? Everybody been fighting these fights. You know what I mean? And, you know, I don't know. Aren't you guys tired of it? Seems to me like, God, at some point, man, oh man, every time I see a picture out of Bloomington, everybody just looks wore out. Come on. You don't have to fight everything, do you? I don't think. Maybe you do. I don't know. Our friend Mike Chappell at mchappell51. Chappie, I am talking about tight ends. I don't know. I think a playmaker is in order. If they drafted a tight end 42, would you be cool with that?
Yeah, the only thing is, if you look, and I trust a lot of these draft guys who they put in the work. They do. It doesn't seem like a tight end is worthy of 42.
Mm-hmm.
But I would certainly like to see a tight end in the third or fourth round. They just, when you lose Jack Doyle, I realize, I mean, there were limitations with Jack, but he did so much, but they need more. Kylan Granson, okay, he showed some, but they love tight ends, and they need to find a guy who can step in and give them more downfield thrust in the pass game at tight end.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I got two new theories. That's one. The second one is, everybody wants Deebo Samuel. Well, I feel like the Colts got one right here in Nyheim Hines. Just figure out how to use the guy. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, every year we talk about Hines, and they always say, well, we need to be creative and find more ways. And then last year they just got away from him.
Yeah.
I believe in the Colts complex now. We talked to Marcus Ray, the coordinator, and he said, because his touches and yards and everything fell off last year. He said, well, we had plays called for him, which it's a nice way of saying, I think, that the quarterback didn't make use of Nyheim Hines.
Mm.
And I think there's some truth to that, where Wentz was more hero ball, I guess that's a fine term we use now, as opposed to taking the easier dump offs to Hines and let him do what he does. I really think Hines' numbers and impact is going to go up, similar to what it was with Rivers, with Matt Ryan. It's just crazy when you have limited numbers of playmakers anyway, to not maximize one that you've got, or at least really tap into it. It's just wrong. We're not breaking ground here. It's when you've got a guy that can do things that he does, you've got to give him a chance to do it.
Yeah, Chappie, like I was told by a guy that's in the NFL, look, every team in the country, every team in the NFL, when they heard Deebo Samuels was available, they called. Either they called his agent or they called the team. One of the two. There was contact made between every single team, right? So I'm sitting there going, well, okay, if you got one here and you think it's that valuable, use the one you got. That makes sense to me, big dog.
Yeah, and again, here we are trying to second-guess Chris Ballard, but what has he shown us in 5 years that he's going to pay a receiver $25 million?
Right.
I mean, nothing. And, by the way, you'll have to give up draft picks or a prime player to get in position to pay him that. So, yeah, I'd love to see Samuel here. I mean, he's a great talent, but, I mean, I just don't see this team getting in this pattern of paying receivers $20 and $25 million. Now, let's see what happens in next year or 2 years when Michael Pittman is due for a new contract. We'll see what their conviction is, but that's just not the way they've done it. Ever. I mean, the most they've given a free agent receiver, I think, is like $10 million for Devin Funchess. So I just don't think they value that to that level. And if they pull off something and prove us wrong, fine, but that's not where they put their money.
I'm going to ask you this every week. Is T.Y. Hilton still in play?
We were talking in the press room. They've won me over. I think they re-signed T.Y. His name comes up every time we talk with Ballard and Wright. Sometimes unprompted, they bring it up. So I think Frank did that the other day where I said, yeah, T.Y. is still in play. And so I do believe they bring him back. I just question the market for T.Y. Hilton as far as getting any kind of I hate to use the word big because you don't get big contracts at this point of the off season. I think he's got more value to the Colts than he does elsewhere. And if he can stay healthy, and injuries have been an issue the last 2 or 3 years, I think if he stays healthy, he can be a solid slot guy and give you some good contributions. But I think they wait until they see what they get in the draft. But I still think he's a guy I bring back for a reasonable contract, whatever reasonable is, and let him be not just a leader. I mean, but you got coaches. If you sign a player, you need that player to be productive. And they keep telling us that they think he still can play and has more to give. If that's the case, sign him to that 1-year deal. Let him have a bounce-back season, and then he can retire on a good note. I think they re-sign him. I just do.
Yeah, why not? What are we doing? Resign the guy? But only if he could play, chap. Oh, I mean, honest to God, right? I mean, I know.
We don't need sign him, and then he's
we don't need ceremonial.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And he always gets hurt. That's the other thing. That dude is hurt, man.
When he had the neck injury last year in training camp, which really, really set him back. And if I remember it, we talked to him after that, and he gave retirement a lot of thought because of the neck injury. But from what I've seen, and I think he posted or whatever, that he still wants to play, still thinks he can play, and I just think he's one of those guys that has more value to his team than elsewhere. If there was that much interest in T.Y. Hilton, he would have signed somewhere. And that's not been the case. It just makes too much sense. If he can accept a very modest contract and a reduced role going into the season, it just makes too much sense not to re-sign him.
Yeah, I don't. Ceremonial, no. And if you can play, hey, man, let's go. Desperate times, somewhat desperate measures. But, we've seen guys. Chap, I'm saying the Colts are going to win the AFC South. I like the fact that Tennessee's got an A.J. Brown situation. I'm not going to say it's a problem. I'm just going to say it's a situation. The more situations that other teams have, I think the better for the Colts. That's how I'm looking at it. Big.
Situations kind of means distraction.
Yes.
And teams and coaches and GMs hate distractions. And at some level, it eased at one point, but the vaccination thing was a distraction. It was an issue, then it was a distraction, and then it was an issue at the end of the season. So the fewer you have going into a season, the better, because you're always going to have stuff happen during a season. And maybe if I'm a young top-level receiver and I see these contracts, maybe that's why Deebo Samuel really wants out of Frisco. I don't know. But when they see what Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams get, they want theirs. And that's a tough distraction issue, whatever you want to call it, to deal with, because how does it get better when the season starts? I mean, it's always going to be there. I like the Colts in the AFC South. I do. I think the quarterback makes that much difference. If they come out of this draft with a receiver and a tight end who know what they're doing.
Man, if they draft, I've said this and I'm curious your thoughts. Mike Chappell on the hotline, brought to you by the Mowers Shop. Go to mowershop.com or go to Fisher, see my friend Paulie at the Mowers Shop. I'm telling you, I bring everything there. If they draft another edge lineman rusher, they've only put a zillion different people throwing them against the wall. At some point, the guys you draft got to play, don't they?
Yeah, boy, I can name 2 or 3 positions I'd take. Protection line, if not receiver, tackle, okay, you can argue that. Tight end, if it's a guy of value. You take an edge pass rusher after investing your top 2 picks last year. If you do that again, then you don't trust what you did last year.
Right.
Now, I realize with the Kamoko Therese, which there were injuries and all that, and Terrell Basham and all those guys didn't work out. But, boy, if you're bailing on these guys now, wish they're not. But I would have a hard time with an edge pass rusher in the 2nd or 3rd round. I would. Only because everything they've done, I keep going back to this, everything they've done so far it leaves them with receiver tight end. I realize they re-signed Mo Alley, Cox, and all that. I realize that, but at receiver, they've not only not signed anyone, they've lost two guys. T.Y. and whatever happens in Zach Pascal. So I just they sometimes use the draft for what they haven't gotten done. Again, last year, remember, they let Justin Houston and Danico Autry walk, but they counter that with the two early picks, which makes sense. I think this is similar to that. You don't really address receiver because you're convinced that there is an answer in the draft. I tell you, you listen to all these draft guys, and this draft is 12, 13, 14 deep in receivers who can play. You've just got to get the one that fits you. I did something yesterday on the website about the Colts and their rookie receivers, and they've only had 9 rookie receivers since they moved here have more than 500 yards receiving. Only 2 of them over 800 yards. So they've got to find guys who can come in and play right away, and that's not been the case here. It took Reggie Wayne like 3 years for a lot of reasons. So, and these guys are in a position that whoever they draft, he needs to be I don't want to say difference maker, but he needs to make an impact right away, and that's not been the case here.
That's what I'm saying. You need a grown-ass man. You got Michael Strawn. Let him be the developmental guy. You got to get a grown-ass man in here, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's about talent, and I understand everybody's developing, and we're going to hear that his best football is in front of him. Well, I hope so. He's coming out of college. So, but there's so many examples of guys taken in round 2, round 3 that have stepped up and played. I think Deebo Samuel was a second-round pick. Devontae Adams was a second-round pick. Stephon Diggs was a fifth-rounder. So they're there. You got to find them. And, again, with the way they've approached the offseason, they not only have to find the guy that they like, it needs to be the guy that can step up and give them 40 or 50 catches and 600-700 yards, because Michael Pittman needs help. And I'm not talking, young developmental guys that show you a play or two. They need guys. They need depth at the position, and hopefully the draft will show them that. Maybe the draft and a T.Y. Hilton signing.
Yeah. I mean, as long as that draft, I'm all in on tight end, Chap. I just said, man.
It's a hill I'm going to die. It's not a hill I want to die on, but I just feel it's so strong. If you're going to trade for Matt Ryan and you're going to guarantee 2 years and he's your guy, then don't handcuff him with the receiver core that's Michael Pittman and guys who really you kind of like, not that you like, but they haven't done it yet. They need more there. I'm sure they know they need more there, and I think they'll get more there this weekend.
Appreciate you, my friend. Look forward to it. Thanks, Chappie.
Talk to you next week.
All right, buddy. That's the great Mike Chappell on the hotline, brought to you by The Mower Shop. Go see my guy Paulie at The Mower Shop. Mowershop.com. I take all my stuff to The Mower Shop. I do. All right, we come back. We're going to go race the day, baby. You can win a $50 free, I don't know what you call it, $50 in gambling and $50 in food to Horseshoe, Indiana. Oh, it's great. People that have won it, you guys are smart. I shouldn't advertise this because you guys are smart. There is a group of people that listen every day, and they, maybe even if they don't listen every day, they know when and how to all of a sudden retweet the tweet that goes out, and they're always in there. I love it. We'll be right back.
The Mower Shop in Fishers has all your residential and commercial mowers, outdoor power equipment, parts, products, and service also at themowershop.com and 317-849-9500.
It's Super Cash time at Old Navy. Right now, redeem your $10 in Super Cash and save $10 on every $25 purchase. Use it on everything. Run to Old Navy or OldNavy.com today. Valid 4/23 through 5/1. Excludes gift cards and clearance. See OldNavy.com/supercash for more details.
My mom's the bomb. Her hugs are so good, there's a wait list. Her laughter is the life of the party. Her smile makes everyone smile. Everything worth knowing, I learned from her. That's why this Mother's Day, I'm heading to Hellsberg Diamonds. They have beautiful diamond pendants, gemstone rings, and more. Hellsberg makes it easy to find a gift she'll love, one that hopefully she'll pass down to me one day, along with her secret to perfect hugs. Save big on mom-worthy gifts at a Hellsberg store near you or at hellsberg.com. Hurry, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th.
Hi, honey. Just checking in for my trip. How's everything on the home front?
John, a big storm just hit us and the power is out. The temperature in the house is already getting really uncomfortable. I can't make the kids dinner without power, and they aren't able to get their homework done with no internet.
Don't get into a situation like this. Extreme weather and grid outages are becoming more and more common. You need to protect your family and your home from power outages. You need a Kohler backup generator that automatically kicks on when the power goes out. Just call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. Unlike portable models, Kohler backup generators offer hands-off operation without the need to refuel. They automatically power your entire home, hassle-free. And with Kohler, you know you can trust this generator when you need it. Don't wait until it's too late and severe weather hits. Call 800-219-4389 for a free quote and $250 in savings. You can't afford not to call. Call 800-219-4389. That's 800-219-4389. 800-219-4389.
Hey, Dan Dakich here every Monday through Thursday here on our show. We have a race of the day brought to you by Horseshoe Indianapolis Racing and Casino. To enter, go to 1075 The Fan or at Dan Dakich, or go to at 1075 The Fan on Twitter. Retweet the tweet that goes out around 2 o'clock for your chance to win a VIP pack. $50 for betting and $50 for dining to Horseshoe Indianapolis Racing and Casino. Got an 11-horse field today. Lady Starlight, Roger Kane, has the 1. Her Kind of Justice, Brett Colby, the 2. The 3, Signature Street, Leonard Gregory. Ajik J, Rich Gasper has the 4. The 5, Tapping to the Beach, Sean Ray. 6, Beyond Justice, Michael Florence. 7, Norris Star, Teddy Demas. 8, Add Me Up, Justice, Brett Beer. 9, Aaron's Little May, Chris Negley. 10, Indy Lights, Jason Stinnett. Holiday, Harry's Holiday, Scott Hall has the 11. Good luck.
The following is presented by the Indiana Thoroughbred Breed Development Program. From Horseshoe Indianapolis Racing and Casino, it's time for the Thoroughbred Horse Race of the Day on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Horseshoe Indianapolis, a heart-pounding destination.
And the Roth tap into the beat. Breaks like a rocket. Ajik J, good debut speed. And toward the inside is Signature Street. Beyond Justice in the Black Silks. Aaron's Little May starts a bid up into the top 4. Ajik J is now 5th. Indy Lights in 6th. On the outside, Sweepin' Justice looks to gain from 7th at the 3.5. Dropping back was Ajik J. Then toward the inside is Lady Starlight next as they round the far turn. Breaking the length then to Norris Star, who's next in line, while 4 clear from Adam Up Justice, who's running second to last, and Her Kind of Justice trails. They made in 3-year-old filly sprint. The quarter was 23.27 seconds, under a quarter to run. Tap into the beat, leans for home, Beyond Justice, and on the outside is Aaron's Little Bay, looking to gain ground. On the far outside, here comes Sweepin' Justice's charge. They come down toward the final 16th. It's Tap into the beat, Beyond Justice, running on Signature Street on the outside. Sweepin' Justice now levels off, but close to home with Jose Riquelme. It's Tap into the beat, and Tap into the beat wins by 2. Beyond Justice second. Ajik J came running out the end to grab 3rd, and then Sweepin' Justice and Signature Street.
Just minutes from Indy, off I-74 in Shelbyville. Horseshoe Indianapolis has live thoroughbred and quarter horse racing through November 23rd, thanks in part to the Indiana Thoroughbred Breed Development Program. And keep listening for your chance to win with Horseshoe Indianapolis' Thoroughbred Race of the Day on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You want to do your own lawn care and pest control, but you're not sure if you can get pro results? You can with DoMyOwn.com. They have pro products, the pro knowledge, and the pro support you need to use them. DoMyOwn.com for the pro in you.
Phillies, Mets, Sunday Night Baseball. The coverage begins at 6 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
It's the Dan Dakich Show. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, congrats, Sean Ray, winner of today's Race of the Day, brought to you by Horseshoe Indianapolis Racing and Casino. Be sure to tune in Monday through Thursday for your chance at a VIP prize pack. $50 in betting, $50 in dining at Horseshoe Indianapolis Racing and Casino. No surprise with a big field. Got a lot of money we're paying out today. Number 5, Tapping to the Beat, $11.80 to win, $5.80 to place, $3.80 to show. Beyond Justice gave you $10.20 to show and $10.20 to place, $5.80 to show. Ajik J gave you $5 to show. Nice payout, $2 exacta gave you $131.60. 50-cent try, even better. $234.15. Congrats. Play again tomorrow. Jimmy, what do you got?
The Jay Cook Plays of the Day.
This is me, all right? I'm not an athlete. This is my way. This is how I work.
You know the deal, nice blend of the MLB as well as the NBA playoffs. Getting started with the association. We're taking the Golden State Warriors not only to end things tonight, but they're covering 8. It's 8.5 right now. I'm laying 8 on an alternate line. Bought that down a bit. That's at minus 130 odds. In that same game, Dan, the Splash Bros are taking over. They're back. Steph Curry over 27.5 total points, and Klay Thompson over 23.5 total points against the Denver Nuggets. In baseball, taking the Toronto Blue Jays to win the money line against the Boston Red Sox. Also going to take the Miami Marlins to win the money line. They are in Washington against the Nationals. 3-1 yesterday, 6-3 on the week, 175, 142, and 4 on the year. Plays on Twitter at the J Cook.
Jimmy, I'm struggling with a bet. You got no Levine, you got no Caruso, you've had your brains beat out, you're coming home, you got a professional team in the Bucks and understand the value of rest. The line is 12. I feel as if I should take the Bucks and make it 12, Jimmy. Give the 12. I just feel that way. Is that, I don't know. 12 seems to be a lot, but damn. I don't know.
That's my only concern, right? Like you said, is that it does seem like a lot. If you forced me to make a pick, Dan, dare I say, if it was a
gun to head,
a gun to head in the distance, I would lay the 12. I think it's a going away win for Milwaukee. God. If you forced me to make that pick, but I didn't like the points, that's why I didn't put it into place.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, big doggy. I do. I get it. I do. I swear I get it. Yeah. I think I gotta do it. I don't know, man. I just no
Levine and Caruso is tough.
That's tough, Jimmy. That's so tough. There's a lot to like about Levine and Caruso. There's a lot to like about the fact that I don't think they're very good. I don't think the Bulls... I don't think the Bulls are very good with them. I don't think they're great. I think they're okay. Without them, they can't be very good. They just got their brains beat out. They're going to say the right things. Everybody understands this series is over. It's just a matter of when. I think you got a professional team in the Bucks that, again, understand rest. They understand, let's win, and let's see what the heck happens. You're at home. I don't know if it's going to happen early. I don't know if it's going to happen in the middle of the game. I don't know if it's going to be a run late. But I just feel like that thing is going to get to 20, and I feel like they're trying to give me money. I do. That's how I feel in this game. Golden State, look, here's the other thing. You don't insult Golden State. The Nuggets won a game. All right, you won a game. You know, great. You played well. Golden State missed a bunch of shots, made it close. You were tough enough to win. The Nuggets were tough enough to get the damn thing done. Good for them, right? All right, go fight, win, yay, rah. But damn, then you don't go saying, well, we think the Golden State Warriors are beatable. They call it a heart of a champion for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. And they do. They call it the heart of a champion, and there's a reason. You got the heart of a champion there. You got a guy that, hey, let's go. You got a team that's like, let's go. You want a piece of this? You want to talk some smack? Here you go. The Woods is full of teams that won a game. The Woods is not full of teams that went 73-9 and won a couple championships. It's just not. Jimmy, I don't know. I don't know, but I think I'm taking them both. I'm just going to take a parlay. I'm going to move it to 8, like you said. Then I'm going to take. I'm going to 12 seems like a lot. Again, we talked about it with Boyle. We talked about how much the average margin of victory is, the fine line, all that stuff. Everybody's a pro. Everybody can make baskets. Everybody can do all those kind of things. I get it. I do. I swear to you. By the way, the Cardinals have tied it up with the Mets 4-4 and have runners on second and third with only one out. So maybe my bet will play. I didn't bet it, but I recommended it. Jimmy, it's just hard. I like the two bets. I like the two bets for psychological reasons, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
if you were really sniffing for action,
yeah,
he's had 22 and 27 in his last two games in this series. For plus 100, you could make a deal with the devil and take Grayson Allen over 12.5 tonight. Giannis is over 32.5. I'm not saying he can't get that, but they don't need 33, 35 from Giannis to close out the Bulls. They just don't need it.
Man, I tell you what else I saw. Every time I watch the Golden State Warriors play, I see Mitchell Wiggins, or that's his dad, Andrew Wiggins, scoring points. He's like at 15.5 or something. I would go under Grayson Allen. You know what? What do we always say? I don't know. Guys eventually show you why they're substitutes, I guess. I don't know. That's a tough one because Grayson Allen's been terrific. Like, and I'm not, like, when Grayson Allen shoots it, I frankly, I expect the ball to go in. And Grayson Allen, again, has enough satchel that early in the year when he took out Caruso, he was like public enemy number one in Chicago. And all of a sudden, well, he's not, he is now, but it isn't because of him taking somebody out. It's because he's played really, really well. Jimmy mentioned the numbers, 27 and 22. He's been a big-time difference. But I just got a feeling that, man, can you continue that? But one of the reasons you're doing it is because of how good the Greek Freak is and how much help you've got to give to the Greekus of Freakus. It's a good basketball team. I did not think they would do what they did to Chicago once Middleton went down. I felt like Middleton was and is probably the perfect Batman to the the perfect Robin to the Batman of the Greek Freak. And when you lose that guy, man, oh man, the Greek Freak's just been ridiculous. I think he's the best basketball player in the world. Again, I've not traveled the world. I have not been in Serbia. I don't know who is currently coming up in Japan or China. I don't. But what I see, he looks to me like, man, if you're going to draft somebody, I'll take that guy. I swear to God. 2 games on the slate. Once we start whittling this down, I'm going to start getting very unhappy because I love my 3-night NBA. I do. It's a great sports bar in Fishers. I think it just opened, too. I forget what it was called. It's right there on the corner. Man, I wish I was going to Park City Bar. I don't know. They got the biggest screens and all that stuff. Went there and had a nice BLT last night. I'm on day 4. No booze, no sweets. Working out every day. Lost 5 pounds. But I did, man. I did have a session. I don't know about if I'm going to do it every week, this whole monk fasting thing, because it gets your innards a little bit. I mean, to the point where you spend a lot of time sitting, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that's what I'm taking. I'm taking them both. I'm taking both home favorites. I'm giving away a lot of points, and we'll see what in the heck happens. Jimmy, great work. Teddy Greenstein, Jim Nagy, Chappie, we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Join me tomorrow morning, 9 to 11.
The Colts already have a new look.
Done deal. So excited to be here in Indianapolis.
But the work is far from over.
Yeah, there's a couple of players right at the top that you obviously would love to have.
This is the most important draft in years.
With the first pick,
Kevin Bowen, Rick Venturi, and the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, take you inside the Colts draft.
It's an exciting time.
The NFL Draft. Starting Thursday night on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hi guys, are you struggling with